Hello and welcome to the Clodcast, episode Clodsire PRs.
Yeah,
I'm
episode 1.1.
yes, I'm here with Aaron,
Hello.
and I'm here with Roy.
Sup?
Callum's gonna
Callum.
be here in a bit. He's just grabbing food apparently.
How are we doing his rankings, by the way? Or is he just going to do them later?
I guess so.
He can go through on his own.
Yeah,
I don't think he cares.
yeah. I don't think he cares either. So, first up on the Clod PRs is the first pick, Terabyte with the Bristle Burmese.
He picked Valiant. What a fucking guy.
Yeah, who would have guessed
What
he
a
picks
nerd.
Valiant first? So, looking at his team, we have the same criteria as for Whooper. So we have essential power, like essential roles, breaking power, supporting roles, and problem solving ability. So let's look at the essential roles first.
His rocks are pretty good. He has three basically stealth rocks on Cleavor.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a good spinner. Okay D4, I guess.
Cramorant is not an okay defogger, it's an awful defogger.
We're talking
I
about
meant
Frost.
Cleavor,
Oh,
not
yeah.
on Frost.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about Cleavor? Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm
he has
pushing it.
he has three mid-tier defoggers. His only typing he's missing is Dragon.
Yeah.
Uh,
The dragon
it's
type,
not bad.
not having a dragon type gives him huge fire weakness.
Yeah, his
Arachnoid
resist is a
Power.
Cramorant and a Typhlosion Hisui, which isn't always reliable.
Yep,
Doesn't Arachnoid resist fire if you run Water Bubble every week?
I think so. But he
Yeah,
but you have
see.
to also see that Araquanid is his only water absorb Pokemon. But he has a water immune Pokemon with water absorb Araquanid. His
He has
speed
to resist as well.
his speed tiers are interesting. He has Valiant, which is just pretty high speed, especially with Booster, which he's probably gonna run some weeks. Then two Pokemon over 100, and the rest just go down. The problem is he only has one actually slow Pokemon, which is Araquanid, so Trick Room might be dangerous against him.
I don't think I'd ever run Trick Room against this team. Maybe just in case, but I feel like this team's gonna run like webs every other week. And it's gonna be like huge around getting Stealth Rocks up and webs up. Otherwise, he's gonna have to spam booster energy every week, which works. But then the rest of his team kind of like, I mean, he's got like what 4 Scarfers through 85 and 95 speed tiers.
Exactly.
He's got Typhlosion, Primeape, Believer.
You can run Primate Eviolite, but Scarf is actually really good.
I mean, he's Terra, so like if he's running Fairy, then he'll probably be defensive for something. But
Okay.
not probably be fighting.
Yeah, but more of the essential roles. He has a grounded poison type, so that is good. He has the water absorb Pokemon. He has pretty much every type he needs. He has a dark type, he has a fairy, he has a steel. He even has a normal and ghost type. His two Terras are pretty interesting. I like PZ as a Terra, and Primate works very well as a low tier Terra.
Yeah, my only comments would be Freds as a Soul Steel type is a little iffy sometimes, especially when your Soul Fairy is Valiant. So it's kind of like not having a fairy. If that
Hmm.
makes sense, because like you're never gonna run Valiant as a fairy. It's
Yeah.
always gonna be weird. So he's basically Primate Fairy type. That's about it.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Another thing I wanted to mention, looking at his team, he has a very frail team if you look at it like on a bigger
Nothing
perspective.
insanely bulky. It's like Wochen and Araquanid. That's the only bulky Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. And he has no Pokemon with an AHB stat over 100.
Even Rotom Frost isn't. Unless you terrored it, it's not bulky. You can just kill that super easily.
I do think Frost and Typhlosion would have been better Terras, but Porygon's interesting.
Yeah,
I think that's
Porygon
the interesting one. Primeape's kind of basic.
Porygon is a very interesting one because Terra works very well with it because of adaptability, so it gets double stab on everything.
Yeah, it's
So this
weird. He
whole-
drafted like 4 great Terra Pokemon, and he's only running it on 2 of them.
Yeah.
Honestly, he has quite a few good terror options. Even Wo-Chen's an option if you want something really bulky and defensive.
Exactly.
Ocean Terra would be actually really good. Get rid of that 4 times bug weakness. You don't get you turned on.
But I would say as first team, I think he has all of his essential roles covered pretty much. He has the hazards, he has the cleanup, he has
I think his removal's a little frail. It's
yeah
gonna rely heavily on rapid spin treads, especially when he's relying on webs.
Yeah,
And his
because like
defoggers are just dog shit.
yeah, and the
you do
other essential I
you
think he's lacking is like the defensive prowess.
Mhm.
like Cramrock's funny, but it's not a good mon. Cleaver, you never want to run defog because you're removing your own stone axe, and Throat and Frost is the worst Rotom.
Yeah. Also, one thing to mention, he has 3 huge weaknesses. He has a very huge rock weakness. And the only 2 things I want to switch into rock moves are Treads and Primate because Valiant, even though resistant, does not want to switch into rock moves because it's frail.
Most archetypes will run EQ too, so treads isn't even a valid counter. I mean, it's bulky, but
Yeah.
that's in like terrain or booster.
You're having to run like Air Balloon or Shuckerberry treads a lot more often than you would like here defensively.
Yeah, he has
Yeah,
also the huge flying type weakness or something to look at because only Rotom Frost and Treads resist flying.
there's a bunch of like little weaknesses. Like I would never like Ghost is somewhat cleared with
Mm,
Wochen and Pori, but it's like Pori's gonna be setting up, and Wochen honestly just gets shafted by a lot of shit
yeah.
because of the bug weakness. So it's kind of like you don't want Wochen to be your like big defensive one. And Psychic's also the same thing.
But I would
Yeah,
say,
Psychic actually is quite good here.
yeah. Only, like, Volchan being his only dark type works, but, like, some Psychic Tech get signal Beam, some Psychic Tech get fighting type coverage or fire
I
type
mean, yeah,
coverage.
Aura Sphere, Focus Blast wipes treads in Wochen as long as it hits Sludge Bomb or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think his essential rules are like they're like quote unquote cleared. Like he went on the board and he's like, yeah, I have a fairy type, yeah, I have a steel type. He didn't really.
Yeah,
And then at the end,
they
he
are
just
not
drafted Paris.
exactly, they are not the best in their roles, but they fill the role. So I would say his 7 is good for him here to start with.
I say 7.
Yeah, I can agree.
Okay, next up is the breaking power.
He
It
has
should be
9
an immediate
Valiant
10.
He
Yeah,
has
it should be
Iron
immediate.
Valiant.
Monkey
and
Dory
Monkey
is
Dory.
really, 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 really good.
Yeah, like
Valiant here.
Cleaver, Porygon Z. Yeah, this is a 10, maybe even 11.
this.
No, it's we don't rate things 11 here.
Yeah, this seems like
Too much.
breaking power is huge. Like just looking at the highest overall stats of his team, the offenses are the highest. He has a PZ and Monkey Dory and Valiant for special attacks. Even like Typhlosion can fill that role for a special attacker. And like his physical attackers, Cleavor, Primeape, Valiant again, Treads can be offensive. I think he fills the offensive and breaking power very well.
Yeah, it's mostly what this team's going to be going for is seeing if stuff like Arachnid and Wochen can kind of.
Especially if he also has Primeape, which is a good taunt mon, so he can shut down some defensive mons with that. And like Great Twist sets are very good at breaking.
Does Cleaver get taunt? I feel like Cleaver gets taunt as well.
I don't know if it does.
I may have showed on that. Let me check.
It doesn't. It doesn't get taunt.
Yeah, I think Primeape might be his sole taunt, or maybe Monkey Dory gets taunt. I don't know.
Monkey Dory should definitely get taunt. Looks like it gets taunt. Gets taunt.
Okay, so he also
It
has
looks like it's
that.
taunting you straight away, so like that makes sense.
And something to mention for his breaking power as well: Toxic Chain, Monkey Dory, like just getting a toxic on some things because they switch into Monkey Dory is huge.
It has U-turn too, doesn't it? So it can just badly poison something from pivoting.
Exactly.
He gets Oh, Infernal Parade with Monkey Dory is gonna be sick as well.
Yep.
Because that's better hex.
Yeah, exactly. Typhlosion gets his Infernal Parade, and Monkey Dory helps with that just because it toxics a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's like a special poltergeist if it's a status one. So pretty good. I'd say it's a 10.
I would agree. His breaking power is amazing.
10.
Best part of this team, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the best part of this team. Supporting roles. I think this is where the team lacks hugely.
He doesn't have a
They
wish
have
pass.
got their
Does he?
Aquarius.
I feel
He
like
doesn't have
No.
Passer. He doesn't have.
he has
Removal's
like
kind of lacking.
Leech Seed from Vochian. He has Webs, and he has Rotom Frost as a good support mon. But overall, I think he lacks in support a lot.
Seems more offense orientated. I feel like even his back end pieces are just kind of there to break specific things.
Yeah, or like facilitate the offense. So I feel like he could have definitely done something different, like get a better support mon. Rotom Frost is gonna carry a huge load of the support.
Yeah.
You don't
Sure,
really
there's a
want
better
that.
flying type that can do it than Cramorant, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
There's definitely better flying, fairy, and steel, like minor steel types you can get to cover certain rules treads can't.
yeah,
But
exactly.
there's offensive mons on the team instead, so like they could have. I'm pretty. I don't know if talent. I think Talonflame is up in this division, but he easily could have like swapped Typhlosion Hisui and Cramorant out for that.
Yeah,
I like Typhlosion Hisui a lot, but it's that'd give you your top speed, and Talonflame is really really reliable.
yeah. The only thing Typhlosion really is there for maybe spread Will-O-Wisp and go for Scarf Eruptions.
I actually think it's
Or even
really it's a good breaker
if
on this team. I don't hate it. It's just now that you've paired it with Primate, Porygon, Cleaver, it's kind of hard to
it
like justify it.
works really well with Monkey Dory as well because the steel types that can't be poisoned with Toxic Chain, Infernal Prey can either burn or it can just nuke with a fire attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he does have some support options, but he does not have the best, and I think that's why maybe 4 or 5 is a good rating for him here.
I'd say 4. He barely checks enough. I don't know. I feel like there will be a lot of weeks where he runs like some random, like one of these like 95 to 85 speed tier mons, like random subset upsets, just be able to fucking survive.
Exactly.
Just break something specific.
Yeah, I go 4.
Okay, now for the last thing is the problem-solving ability.
This is just an
He
8.
has no Valiant.
He has an Iron Valiant. That is problem solver number 1.
The rest of his team's kind of.
Treads can be.
I mean, like other than
Treads
his
can be
top 3.
different.
Other than his top 3, they like those 3 are the problem solvers. They're like a solid 8.
I wouldn't call Monkey Dory a problem solver. It can be, of course, if it gets a lot of Toxic Chain procs, but I feel like Monkey Dory is forced into a lot of the same sets. Treads and Valiant have like more options than Monkey Dory has.
I don't know.
It's got some surprising stuff. To be fair,
It's
it's got
got
Pulse
setup.
most
It's got
weapons.
screams. It's
It's got
got
Fake Out, which is quite handy actually. Clear
trick,
Smog,
taunt, sub.
so it can be a haze. Yeah, I'd say it's a problem solver.
Okay.
I can actually see a lot of stuff I could do with this mon.
It's a problem solver that works only because it's paired with Treads and Valiant. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I guess you
Like, it
could
gets
say
rid
that.
of just enough. Like anything, pretty much every Valiant answer will hate Monkey Dory.
The only other problem solver, except for the top 3, I can actually see being a problem solver is Primeape, just because you can run different stuff on it because of the Eviolite.
The Eviolite and the Terra
Yeah,
enable
exactly.
it, but other than that, there's like nothing else. Typhlosion
Maybe
could be
Rochen, 'cause
weird,
it can
but
sometimes it can wall out some teams Rochen if they're not playing the best. Then again, this is
you just gotta not prep for
Clodsire, so that
Wochen.
shouldn't be the
Yeah, you
case.
just gotta.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of coaches that won't ignore the fucking Wochen.
Yeah, something
Like, oh, it is a 14 weakness.
something to also be aware of. His walls do not have recovery, at least reliable ones. So I feel like his problem-solving ability, just because of the like top 3, is a 9. Because
No.
Valiant is one of the best problem solvers in the game because you can just put a booster energy on, you outspeed most of the tier, and you can run mixed or is physical or special. You have enough stuff to do really, and its move pool is great for that.
I'd give it an 8.
Roy, where are you at?
I go with an 8 as well.
Okay, let's go with an 8 then. So this is Terra's rating for now. 7, 10, 4, and 8.
Boop boop.
Next up, we have Ordinary. So, Ordinary is a new coach, and we're gonna start with Essentials again.
Indeed. What is he? He's not. He's just. I mean, electric's like the only typing that would matter. Bug's
Yeah,
not
not
necessary.
having a bug type does not matter.
No one cares about that.
Yeah.
He drafted Sligo Sui and then didn't make it his sole defensive mon. Congratulations, you're not stupid. Oops, sorry, you're not a flawed, I guess you could say.
I also
Yeah.
I like the fact also he's got 2 fairy types to go with a load of Ninetales. I actually do like the second fairy type and the second
got
steel
even
type in Celestina.
Let's go over types first. So he does not have an electric type, which I think is quite. I think you need an electric type in most draft formats.
I mean, it's the only reason you would need the electric is if you need it defensively or offensively.
Yeah.
And the typing itself, really, it's just there for like flying types,
Mm-hmm.
like a Zapdos or something. And I
Okay.
don't think he's completely hopeless.
Yeah.
He has double steel and they don't share weakness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that's fine. He does only have one water type, which is not a water absorb water type, so Quackworld will still a good mom, but a defensive water type can also always bring good stuff for you.
Yeah, it's gonna force the colossal water type Terra a few times.
Yeah.
Probably a better Terra than a Sparta, but we'll get into it.
Yeah. He has a poison type, a grounded one at that, but his poison type is just awful.
Yeah, it's not coming.
Yeah,
It's never
it's not
coming.
likely.
So running T-Spikes against him is a valid option, also because his hazard removal is just only Quackwivel, right?
No,
Oh,
Colossals.
Colossal, yeah.
Yeah.
Colossal's a decent hazard. I've used Omniterra Colossal in a different league, and it's actually not bad at lower tier removal, but it needs a Terra badly to be good. So if he brings it, it has to be Terra or is it's shit. But I do rate it. It's not bad, but he probably could do with a defogger.
Yeah.
It's very
Go
needy.
with it.
The thing about not having a defogger is ghost types are gonna switch in a lot onto the rapid spinners.
Yeah, I mean, both the spin. I mean, Cole's different, but Quack has a lot of. Quack gets knocked now, so I'm not really scared of ghost types.
Yeah, that is
As a-
true.
Like Quack, like if you're clicking rapid spin on Quack, that means you're just not running Aqua Step for some reason, which is kind of odd. Tinglu's also there, so both different. Like,
I mean,
I
people
think
run
you can
Aqua Step
run
and
both.
Rapid Spin sometimes.
yeah,
I've run both.
I don't see any. I mean, spin's just taking up a move slot
Yeah.
when you could be running like SD, double stab.
Mhm. One thing to also mention, looking at Ordinary Team, he has a lot of double typings. He has 2 ice
I don't
types,
mind
2
some of
fire
them, though.
types, 2 fighting types, 2 steel types, 2 dragons, and 2 fairies.
Yeah, I don't think the fairies and steels are a big issue because steels don't share weakness.
Yeah.
Ninetales is more just set up Veil. It's not really like your standard bulky fairy, but Mega Dino is. Gives him a nice wish passer for Celesteela, who's kind of.
Having the 2
And
ice
you're also
types
not
and the 2.
always.
Go ahead, Roy.
You're also not always terroring. You're always not always mega in it, like first turn, because you keep the regen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good
That
point.
depends on what you need.
Having 2 ice types though very much hurts weaknesses in general on this team, because like looking at overall weaknesses, this team is very weak to 4 different types: fire, fighting, ground, and fairy. Ground being the most pressuring weakness because he has only one Pokemon that is immune to flying or resists flying, and that is Celesteela.
Sally is definitely pressured because Sligo's becoming like every single time. Like it's basically his main steel resist, basically his main ground immunity, his flying resist.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough,
Cel-
but I can see it being fine.
yeah.
Tinglu helps. Just because Tinglu's Tinglu.
Yeah, Tinglu is gonna
Yeah.
take some hits very well just because it is that type of mon. I feel like
I think
I like
Tinglu,
the
Audino, and
hazards.
Selly are coming every week almost. It's like the defensive backbone.
looking at the speed tiers though, I feel like the speed tiers for Ordinary are not the best.
He doesn't have webs or anything to help support that, so
No, he has only 2 mons over 100, which one of them is a Spafra. It's gonna speed boost, of course, but Ninetales being your only other mon above 100 might not be good.
it's gonna force Scarf on Annihilate a lot.
Or
Enforce, like,
Scarf on
Quaquaval
backs.
No, it's just gonna force a lot of setup.
Yeah,
Like, it's
exactly.
you're gonna have to bring Aqua Step or Rapid Spin. You're gonna have to bring like they don't
Scale shot
mind
is
it
coming
'cause
nearly every week.
yeah, they don't mind it because they usually do that anyway. But it's a little weird when you have to bring. I also don't know how he's gonna. I mean, his team has a lot of options. Like
Yeah.
looking at it, his top what is it? His top 7 could come every week, and then Celesteal and Sliggoo also. Gloom's like the only thing on his team that wouldn't come on a weekly basis.
Yeah. I feel like this team is good at one thing though, and it is at being bulky. This is one of the
Very bad.
bulkiest teams in all of PBL right now.
Yeah, with Veil on top of it, the Celiodino, Tinglu,
That's why I
Annihilate.
yeah, that's why I guess it's fine that he doesn't have the best speed tiers because Vale's gonna be there almost every time.
Honestly, I have one improvement for the team already. It makes it a bit weaker to ground, but maybe swap Gloom for Swalot, which is at least slightly better as like a poison type that's grounded.
He would
I might
lose
come to one too.
he would lose a grass type for that, but I don't think he needs a grass type that much.
Yeah, it loses the fire, being even weaker to fire.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it would just need to be. It's hard because he's never gonna bring it anyway.
Exactly.
Like that from their perspective, there's no reason to run like Swallow or Gloom every week. You have so many options already, and they're all viable. Like backs Ninetales, and then like 3 Mons of the 4 defensive, and then you can just coin flip Annihilate and Quaquaval.
Mm-hmm.
You have a squad immediately.
Looking at the offenses as well, physical offense, there's nothing to gouge at. There's a backs, and then Annihilate, Quaquaval. Even
Yeah.
Tinglu has like an amazing offensive stat, but special attack is something that's very lacking on this team, with Celesteela being the highest special attacking mon, and right after it's only Espafra, over 100.
Blizzard spam and Moonblast spam from Ninetales is good, but it's really just gonna be clicking Veil and leaving, and it's like never gonna use the 101 base stat.
Yeah. Like, looking at all of the mons, you're only gonna be scared of, like, Celesteela being offensive, although Celesteela might be pushed into a defensive role a lot on this team.
That's the main Resistia.
And the Spafra. The Spafra is gonna be, I feel like, the main special attacker on this team, because the other mons just are not gonna be able to keep up that well.
Because you definitely want the option to run the autonomized Meteor Beam set on Celesteela, which can sweep the right team.
Exactly. But personally, I feel like Ordinary's essentials are... They're good. I don't think they're as good as Terra's. So I would say if we gave Terra a 7, I would say we give Ordinary a 6.
I agree with that. Tinglu's a good hazard set. Annihilate can set Self Rocks, but you don't really want it to.
Exactly. Like, the way he built his team, some ones are forced into specific roles, and you don't want that most of the time. That's what I feel like.
A lot of teams will be able to run some like wacko shit. If you get what I mean, to like, I don't know. It's like you know what he's gonna have to bring every matchup.
Exactly.
There won't be a lot of versatility in every matchup. It's like Selly's the most versatile thing on the team, but we can talk about it later. Essential, I'd give him a 6.
Yeah, I feel like a 6 is fine. They are good, but they're not great. Also, one thing to mention, Espafra is a weird Terra Pokemon, personally.
It's
I
don't
get
get me
it.
wrong. It's still good, but anybody without a dark type is they deserve to lose anyway.
Yeah.
I agree.
You of course have to be careful because there's the Dazzling Gleam, but if you have
but you have steel type.
yeah,
Same thing.
if you have a steel type, you're most likely good against
Steel
Espafra, because Terra Blast is not allowed.
Yeah,
So, next up, Breaking Power.
I'd give it like a 7.
Yeah, we already hinted at it a little bit. Breaking Power physically is amazing. There's backs, there's Annihilate. Even Celesteela can break at some points. You can just switch into a Tinglu without getting like huge damage into your face sometimes. The thing that is lacking is definitely just special breaking power.
Even alone Ninetales, which I love as a special attacker every now and again, like it's not breaking stuff. It's very rarely like you're not really running choice specs ever. I've run Scarf a few times on it just as a surprise, but it's not a breaker. It's not really something when it's like one of your best special attackers, it's a bit.
Yeah, that's the whole point. I feel like I would also give like breaking power a 6. He has good breaking power physically, of course. Maybe a 7 is better actually. But
I think a 7 because Bax is a monster.
yeah, but especially he's really lacking there. So next up, supporting roles.
So this is why I rate Alola Ninetales very highly here because it really helps Bax set up.
Exactly.
It also sets the whole team like super well. Ting Lu's a very supportive one on this team as well with like whirlwinds.
Yeah. Also Mega Dino being there as a support mon is not bad.
It's really heavily relying on the Audino and the Ninetales to set up Veil or like wish past the stuff.
Yeah.
Which isn't horrible, but it's like the amount of reliance, like with how low your speed tiers are.
Also looking at momentum on this team, the only Pokemon I think that gets actual momentum here is Annihilate.
Quack gets U-turn.
Oh, Quack gets U-turn. Okay, I never saw.
Sparthur gets Baton Pass, but it can't use it, I'm pretty sure.
Baxcalibur gets Scale Shot, a Jetpack.
Yeah, Sparthur is not allowed to use Baton Pass if it runs Speed Boost.
Yeah. So it's like it's the two main U-turn, but they're breakers, so it can kind of you can kind of play around it. But
yeah, Annihilate is gonna Annihilate is gonna run U-turn a lot. Quackwavel is probably not gonna run it a lot. I feel like.
I will say the Warfare also really helps Annihilate's Rage Fist boost. Actually, thinking about it, because it's going to switch it a lot when they try and break.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wait, hang on. Wait, hang on. I just read this slide. What? That's rude. I am goated.
you just noticed.
I just noticed.
How does he just notice this?
So I think supporting roles are pretty. They're better than Terras, definitely, but not by a whole lot.
I'd say a 6, just because of how strong the Veil is. Yeah, and Audino is like really, really solid. But
I lean towards an 8. So I rate Alola Ninetales that highly.
I would never. It's you can't. It's gonna be too relied on. There's gonna be people who just work around it.
Yeah, I would say 6-2 or a 7. So we
can just average 7. Yeah.
Yeah, 7 sounds fair. I'm probably overrating Alola Ninetales here.
Last but not least, the problem-solving ability. How many different sets can he really run on most mons?
Annihilate has like 3 sets. Bax has 1, maybe 2. Sparthra has 2.
The biggest
Aqua has 2.
I feel like the biggest problem solver on his team is Celesteela.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like it.
I'm trying not to think, because I know the player and I know how creative he can be, but looking at the team on paper, I don't see a lot of different sets.
You can be as creative as you want, but there's an extent.
Exactly.
If the mon doesn't enable it, then you can't really go as far. Like, I can't imagine. It's like Annihilate's like the second most versatile mon on the team.
Yeah.
And all of its sets are popular, so it's not like a shocker.
And I feel like after Annihilate, there's a big drop in like creativity he can pull off.
Yeah. It's like set up at Audino.
Unless he brings like Choice Bang Tinglu to 1 week.
Or Choice Specs Quackwavel could work, but I don't think it's like...
You have to be smoking something.
Yeah. He doesn't have the best problem-solving team. Of course, Esparfra is technically a problem solver just because it can, with 1 speed boost...
If it had Terra Blast, I'd agree. But after, like, Dark and Steel types just kind of go, yeah, fuck you.
The big thing about it is Lumina Crash is still a good-ass move.
Let me just make sure. I think Sliggoo doesn't get body press.
I don't think it... Goodra might have gotten it for DLC.
Yeah. Might have, yeah.
I don't know about Sliggoo.
Oh,
didn't get it when I used it.
Goodra definitely had body press. Like it doesn't get body press.
So I would say
didn't have it when I used it.
Problem solving on this team is probably a 5.
Aurora Veil and Celesteela are gonna carry it. The Veil itself will be able to enable some things, but
alright, so we agree on 5?
I agree.
Yeah, I agree on 5.
Okay. So, next up.
You can just click, Ben. You don't need to...
sorry, I just checked if the recording was still going, because I don't have 2 screens here.
Okay.
So, next up is Roy. I feel like Roy is not going to talk about his team a lot, because he doesn't want to be biased.
I can be biased. It's fine.
So
I mean, I like the team.
he has Chen Pao, which makes the team great, anyways. But let's go over the essentials first. 2 water types, none with water absorb, sadly. But he has the bundle answer for bundle teams, which is Wall Rain in his case. Looking at other stuff, he has Grounded Poison and Glow King.
His top 3 are really, really solid.
Yeah, his top 3 are really solid. He does
Four,
not have
actually.
a fighting type, which I think is kind of... It's always
It
good
just
to...
doesn't help with the rock resist.
Yeah. Rock is like
Yeah, I
the
really hate
biggest
not-
weakness.
I do hate not having a fighting type on this team. To be fair,
And like, Orpheum is gonna switch into some rock type moves, but Flygon isn't the bulkiest mon. It does not want to switch into rock type moves often, even if it resists it.
Orthworm is also not very reliable with the special.
Exactly.
It's special.
Yeah.
I don't know how many there are, but
Orpheum was basically a backup to getting sniped on Registeel. I wanted
yeah, I
Registeel in
know
that
you got
slot.
like quad sniped. I saw.
So bad. I was so upset.
Defog is Zapdos,
Flygon, technically.
Flygon, Florges, Rapid Spin, Blastoise, and I don't know if the Dunsparce gets it. I don't think
No, it
gets
doesn't.
No.
So,
I don't know if that was associated.
I think the only 2 mons are gonna... Like, 3 mons are gonna run removal, and those are Blastoise, Florges, and Zapdos.
Yeah, they're all right. Blastoise is going to be forced into Rapid Spin a lot, but it's not like this team. This team doesn't like really heavily set hazards,
Yeah.
so it's not as big of a deal if he just runs Defog on Floriez as a 4th slot.
Yeah, exactly. His hazard setting is pretty much forced into Earthworm, maybe Galar's Slowking.
Ogerpon gets it as well, and the Dunsparce gets rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You're not
I
gonna
don't say
run
it's
your
great, but-
Hard Flame Ogerpon with like...
Likes would have to be like, I have 5 Pokemon that work. Ogerpon sucks in this matchup, and I need something. So that's the.
There'll be like 1 or 2 weeks where I will run Spikes Ogerpon, I think, but I don't. It's not so. Honestly, I really if I was improving the team, I would want more Spikes or more rocks. Dunsparce is mostly there for the rock. It's gonna be a rock and a normal type as well.
Let's look at more stuff though. Looking at the essentials in general, he's only really weak to rock, and rock is his biggest weakness. Yeah, he has to be careful around electric, ghost, and dark types though, because he only has 2 resists for each of them, and for example, Flygon and Flygon and Ogerpon are the electric resists.
Ogerpon doesn't really want to take like a Thunderbolt in case it gets parried though.
Exactly.
It's not like, reliable.
Mm.
Flygon's okay, but it's really not going to come every.
Yeah.
Flygon's that thing that has to have the matchup in its favor either way. It does have a lot of versatility with the Terra, but you're not going to be able to find every matchup, especially with this sort of team where you have so many good defensive options that you kind of need to. You will be bringing them, so it's going to kind of rely on like Ogerpon, Zapdos, Slowking, Chen Pao. Those will be the main offensive options, and the only won't come if they don't have a good matchup.
Yeah.
That's when Flygon can get subbed in.
The ghost
One
type,
thing I've definitely tried to do with some of my mons is just basically like, okay, I can't do it resistances. I'll just do it with massive fat off bulk if I can cover that weakness.
yeah. The one thing I also saw, the only 2, like the Dunsparce is the ghost immunity, and Chiampao is the ghost resist, and Chiampao doesn't want to switch into special moves because one good prediction and Chiampao dies from a special move. So the Dunsparce carries the load if he doesn't run normal Flygon in that week. So there's something to be careful around. And Dark type resist.
I can't remember who I was chatting to, but someone said, like, looking at my team, was like, oh yeah, you don't need a normal type. I was like, bro, my dark type's Chen Pao. I need a normal type.
Exactly. That's also why the dark types might be strong against Roy, just because Chen Pao doesn't want to switch into most dark types because they get fighting coverage, for example.
Yeah, it will depend on matchup for Florges.
Yeah.
I think like the only nitpick I have is that Florges is not the Terra.
Yeah.
Such a waste.
I don't
considered it.
Flygon as a Terra is okay, but Flygon as a Pokemon in general, I think, is disappointing.
Terra
I considered
enables
making.
stuff.
Honestly, I considered making either Florges or a Blastoise a Terra over Flygon. Dunsparce is always going to be a Terra on this team.
I feel like something you could have definitely done here is, instead of going Flygon, you should have went for Zygarde, the small one, the dog.
Ooh, that could be fun actually. I might change that.
Why not just get the real Zygarde though?
Yeah, you could have also went for the real
Get
Zygarde.
just get actual Zygarde and just shaft the back end of your team. If you keep Florges, it's fine.
Just tie and bundle.
I mean, then no, because you make it the Terra and Florges is fine.
Oh yeah, it's true. But there's no good franchise mod at all, so we're alright. Like
Yeah.
Let's look at some more stuff.
Walrein.
Offenses and defenses of this team, pretty balanced. Looking at physical defense though, except for Blastoise, there's only Earthworm, and I don't think Earthworm is the best wall per se.
Zapdos is actually really good against a lot of the physical.
That is true, just because of static.
And
Yeah,
just forcing like the ice coverage.
Yeah, Zapdos is a great mon for Roy here.
I love Zapdos as well. Zapdos is one of my favorite mons, and I know how to make it physically bulky, so that's going to help me a lot here as well, I think.
Offense, offense though is also physical offense is gonna get carried by Chien-Pao and Ogerpon. Special offense it looks like, looking at the base overall, it doesn't look bad. But then remember, his high special offensive mons are Zapdos, then Haunter, which is rarely gonna come, Florges and Slowking. Slowking and Florges are most likely gonna be forced into defensive roles most of the time. And Zapdos might be in some matchups too, so his special offense might not be all that as it looks.
I actually think it's not as worrying, because even though it's just Zapdos, Cloaking, and Florges and like Haunter sometimes, the Terra types on Flygon being Dragon and Normal really enables like Draco and Boomburst getting buffed, and its lower special attack is actually really acceptable, because if you just have the right matchup, you could spam Draco Terra, and all of a sudden it's like a 120 special attack base with a 120 base power move.
Yeah. And don't sleep on Didunda Sparse going Terra Normal Beam Burst as well, because there will be a weakness bringing that too.
Oh yeah, so I think there's versatility there. Sometimes it might feel like you have like a hand on your throat to like run a certain set, but I think it will be fine, honestly.
But I feel like Roy's essentials are pretty much as good as Terra's, I would say. Maybe a little better, but they're on par with Terra's.
I'd give them a solid 8. I think.
I can agree with an 8. I'm fine with an 8.
I'd have actually rated it 7, so I'm quite happy with that. I'm probably overthinking my team as well.
I mean, as long as you have the versatility, I think it's fine. The only reason I wouldn't say it's a 9 is because I wish Florges was the Terra. Like, it's like actually one of my favorite Terramons. It's so good.
Speed
tier, I might change him in season.
Speed tier Soroy are also pretty good, by the way, just to mention.
They're just base solid.
Yeah.
4 mons above 100 is always great. 100 and above.
The only weakness I see with it, and this is something I spot as well, this is why basically after I draft for one, I was like, right, what 3 points available? Haunter. Haunter kind of covers the speed gap as well quite a lot. So there will be matches where I do have to bring Haunter to prove I'm going to bring it, because you have to then respect the speed tier for it.
Yeah.
But let's go on to the next part, is Breaking Power. We already talked about it a little bit. Breaking Power physically is not an issue. There's Chien-Pao and Ogerpon, Heart Flame. They're gonna rock teams completely. Looking at the special side, Zapdos is there. The Dunsparce can be a good special offense mon. I feel like Florges and Slowking are forced more into defensive roles, but you should still not just switch into them, because even defensively, those moves can hurt.
Shell Smash Blastoise is a thing as well.
Exactly. The one thing I would maybe mention, you don't have a lot of taunt Pokemon. I think Flygon gets taunt, and I think Blastoise, and that's it.
Make sure there's one of my. Actually, I have my draft. Why I can just go on that and just double check. So,
Aaron, you want to say anything?
Gets taunt.
Aaron?
Sorry, give me a second.
Okay. Yeah, but basically, the Breaking Power is carried. I feel like it's carried a lot by Chien-Pao and Ogerpon, just because they are very oppressive offensive mons. Just because Ogerpon gets a buff because of the Heart Flame Mask, Chien-Pao's ability, Blade of Ruin, I think it is. I feel like offensively this team is pretty good. Only thing I
Just
would maybe miss sometimes is like fighting type coverage, which you don't have a lot of.
I agree with that. My fighting type coverage is a bit short.
Yeah, fighting type coverage might run you into some problems against specific mods, like specific steel types maybe, but Ogre Punk can work against them well.
All four of them might be able to handle just if I'm lucky with like a body press set if I'm lucky.
If you're lucky, yes.
But then I'm relying on Okapon. Yeah.
Yeah, you're relying a lot on Ogrepon and Flygon to break those steel types, which I don't think is the best thing to rely on Flygon as your second best steel type destroyer. I guess Chiempao still gets what's the name of the fighting type move? Sacred Sword?
Yeah, Sacred Sword.
Yeah. So it can cover some steel types.
That is something, isn't it? Right, here we go. Here we go. What gets taunt? Taunt. Thanks, computer. You just completely skipped everything.
Great.
Taunt.
But personally, I would give this.
Oh, 3 mons get. Oh, I guess Patoma. Oh, all mons get taunt. To be fair,
All mons do.
Haunter. Yeah, Haunter, Chempao, Ogapon, and Galarian Slowken. I didn't even know Galarian Slowken got taunt. I use it all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's news.
Chimpao taunt is
There you go.
interesting. Ogrepon as well. I don't think you're gonna use Haunter as a taunt Pokemon personally, though.
No, personally, I don't think either. I mean, I've used Galarian Slowking like all the time, and I've never run taunt on it, so I didn't even know it got taunt. So I've just learned something new today.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing Haunter is gonna do is be a special attacker, nothing else.
Yeah.
There's also a problem with resisting normal type moves for you, because Haunter's not gonna come every week, well. And then there's only Earthworm.
I'm really scared. I really hope I don't face Terrorbright because Porygon C is terrifying me right now.
Yeah, the same thing goes for fighting. Maybe okay, you do have Cloaking for that, and Zapdos, and I guess Florges. But a lot of fighting types get Poison Jab, they get Ice Punch, and they get Earthquake. So fighting types can be very scary for you.
I'll just hack them, it's fine.
Yeah, just hack them like you did me.
Exactly, that's the strategy. You just hack them and you win.
Yeah, I think I won this game, so I'm going to talk now.
Okay.
So where are we?
We're on offensive / breaking power. And
this is just a solid 8. I mean, you're going to have to force some options and limit your versatility a few times with the breaking power, but I think it's still...
Yeah, that's what I would have given it to. Supporting roles. He has 3 of the best supporting mons in draft. I feel like Florges, Cloaking, and Zapdos.
They really enable a lot of stuff. It's
exactly like Florges.
Yeah, will be handy some weeks too.
Yeah, Florges is a great wish passer. You have some momentum. You have like Ogerpon U-turn, Zapdos Volt Switch, Flygon U-turn, Flip Turn Blastoise, and Baton Pass on a few mounts, I guess. And then
Cloaking gets it. I think Floor just gets it now as well.
Something to also not overlook is the support Cloaking can give Wall Rain with Chilly Reception. Because Wall Rain can actually be a defensive wall because of that. Florges wish passing is great though, and I feel like generally just the support of this team is good. I wouldn't say overall great because there's better definitely somewhere, but I feel like 8 is a good number here.
I think 8's fair because I also wish if I had a bit better hazard control, like as in like hazards, I think I'd rate it more. But
yeah, Aaron, what are you saying?
I'd say 7.
Okay, yeah, then we're rounded out to an 8 because me and Roy said 8. Although Roy is technically biased here.
Technically.
But I rated my first thing lower, to be honest. Though, like,
Yeah. So, next up, problem solving. Problem solving might be an issue here because you don't have a lot of problem solvers in general. The biggest problem solver here is, of course, Zapdos, because it can run multiple sets, be offensive, defensive, can provide a lot of stuff for your team.
I think Blastoise is surprisingly versatile as well.
Yeah, Blastoise is also a good one, but Chien-Pao is gonna run most of the time either Boots or Band, maybe Life Orb. Ogerpon is gonna be offensive most of the weeks, maybe a Spike set here and there. Flygon is okay, but I personally am not the biggest Flygon fan, that's why I don't see it as a big problem solver.
I might bring Carmine Florges, but honestly, it's not really the best set most of the
Exactly.
time.
The Dunsparce is interesting.
The Dunsparce I really do rate as a problem solver, but I'm probably gonna have to show people why it's so good because
Yeah.
I've seen Sully use it and I've actually became a fan of them on Ben. But I'm gonna have to convince people on that because it doesn't look like as good as it is, but it's actually kind of like surprisingly versatile because it gets a lot of stuff.
Glowking can technically be a special offensive Trick Room sweeper if you want it to be, but it's not gonna come in that way a lot because it's most of the time it's your Glowking comes in to take a hit and gets out with Regenerator, Chilly Reception.
Like total shit, my original plan for this draft before I found out I was pick 3 was I was like, right, I'm going to draft Taunty, I'm going to draft Slowking Galar, and my problem solving is just going to be I regen stall you to death. That was like my original plan, and then I realized, oh, actually no, I can just do something more fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with that. Like, I'm going to have to get creative in some spots, which I can do.
But you definitely have some base
7.
problem solvers, so I would say 7 as well. Aaron?
Yeah, I'd say 7 as well.
Aaron, by the way, what are you doing?
I was playing the Hisuidex game.
Ah, okay.
Because he woke up fucking 3 hours late.
Yo, what the fuck is that picture?
That's disturbing.
So, yeah.
That fucking Galactical, what the fuck is that picture?
No idea. But, this...
Minecraft, what?
This is Ashante, right? Or no, it's...
No, this is Coffin, not LS Coffin.
LSXDD. Right. So, let's go over the essentials here.
They do not have a dark type.
No dark type is huge.
At least they have Reggie I guess, but lack of dark type really fucks them hard. They're really like, I love Reggie It's because the kill leaders some of these I've been in, but no, I do not like the lack of dark type immediately.
Psychic types are gonna be a pain in the ass to deal with for him. Like, a good psychic type can be very painful. Because the only thing that comes in and actually resists it is that Registeel, and a lot of psychic types carry fighting or fire coverage these days.
And even then, Registeel doesn't get recovered unless you're on the Resto Chesto set.
Exactly. As well, that he doesn't have a Wish Passer to heal up the Registeel if needed. Water type, his only water type is Bundle. And he does not have Water Absorb. His only poison type is not grounded, so Toxic Spikes can be very dangerous for him. His removal is all low tier removal plus Bundle, which is not going to run removal a lot.
So let's go through it, because Oricorio is not a remover. I've drafted Oricorio. I never would think once to bring it removal.
Yeah, the only thing that is going to reliably, I think, run the removal...
Bundle doesn't get removal.
Does Bundle not get Rapid Spin?
No.
Because I know that...
It does not get Rapid Spin.
Okay.
Court change.
I'd have run Rapid Spin nearly every week on Bundle just for the fact to get a speed boost.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, the only reliable hazard removal is Cinderace, because Sandslash is not going to come every week. Decidueye is not going to come every week. I feel like a lot of the times he's just going to run his top 6, so Bundle, Lopunny, Cinderace, Enamorus, Garganacl, and Registeel.
I think Oricorio is going to come, but never as removal. It's going to come to sweep someone. It's never come in defog.
One thing to also look at, he looks very rock weak. He is not that rock weak, but then again, remember his only ground type is Sandslash. which is not going to come every week. So only Lopunny, which does not want to switch into moves every time because it's not that defensive, and Registeel are going to take rock type moves as well.
I would also notably say he does technically have an electric type
Mm-hmm.
and technically have a psychic type, because Oricorio covers both those roles as well.
That is true. He does
But
technically
I
have those.
But I would not call Oricorio a resist of anything,
Yep.
except for ground.
One thing to also mention, his electric type weakness is huge. He only Decidueye and the Sandslash take electric type moves well. And most of the time, not both. He's not going to run both of them on the same team, so if you can shut down one of them, you're fine.
I do like his speed, though. His speed's pretty good.
His speed tiers are pretty good. Like, top speed.
Minus the gap.
Two top speed mons, and then there's Cinderace, then Enamorus, and then Oricorio, and then there's a little gap between Oricorio and Decidueye. I don't think that matters too much, but it is there. Looking at all the lower speed Pokemon, though, he might also be a Trick Room weak person, considering only slow mons are Registeel and Garganacl, because Coughing is never coming.
I don't like Coughing on his team.
But that's about it.
Honestly, if you replace Coughing with Swallow, I sound like being a Swallow fan, but like Swallow actually at least will come to a matchup with like to remove T-Spikes. Though honestly, T-Spikes, two of his main mons are running boots most of the time anyway, so I don't hate his T-Spikes weakness. Garganacl doesn't care about T-Spikes because it can't be toxic.
Registeel doesn't, but some of the offensive Pokemon do. The defensive Pokemon don't care, but the offensive Pokemon do a tiny bit, except for like Enamorus.
Yeah.
And Cinderace is gonna run boots.
Yeah, Cinderace gonna run Iron Bundle's often gonna run boots. I don't think it's bad. It's as bad like Toxic Spike weak as it looks at first. But I still think Coughing's a pretty. No, you can get about 1 pointer.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's honestly not as bad of a 1 pointer as it can be.
True.
Yeah, I've seen worse.
There's worse, yeah. Also, something to mention: he does not have a Dragon type, which gives more into a lot of weaknesses, because looking at water as well, only 2 mons that resist water are Decidueye and Bundle.
Honestly, that's Sliggoo. Sliggoo works, and then you've got it covered.
Yeah. I think like a huge problem for this team is a lot of the big weaknesses of this team, like electric, water, are gonna get carried by Decidueye, and you don't want Decidueye to be that defensive mon that takes those type of hits for you.
It's not really good in that role.
To be fair, Garganacl and Registeel will take hits good.
Terrible Garganacl is going to be handy, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of weeks.
The Terra Garg is, I think, the biggest thing to mention here, because Terra Garg is amazing.
I used it the first season. It was available, and it carried me in some matchups.
Yeah.
That was Omni Terra though. It carried me hard.
And Sarah Oricorio is also not to be underrated, because if you're not careful, Oricorio can sweep you.
Yeah.
I feel like this team has the weakest essentials, though, out of all of them we have looked at so far.
Yeah. I think when your best hazard removal is Decidueye and Court Chain Cinderace, it's a bit of a worry.
Yeah.
The typings are the issue, though. The no dark type is really, really.
Yeah, the no dark type is like the scariest thing here. Because like
5?
one good psychic type is gonna hand this team some else. So
I actually don't really think 5.
Yeah, 5 is, I think, the right thing. Or is anybody saying lower than 5?
I think 5's fine.
Okay. Next up, Breaking Power. This is, I think, where the team excels at in some sort of way, because this team has 2 good special and 2 good physical breakers in Cinderace, Mega Lopunny, and Iron Bundle Enamorus. Technically, the Decidueye is also there as a breaker, but I don't consider it the best breaker because, like I said, it's gonna run defensive sets a lot. This team.
Soulcure, if you don't prep for it properly, can actually break a team.
Yes.
But yeah, I wouldn't count it as a proper breaker.
He has like Taunt Cinderace. and I think maybe the Sejuai gets taunt.
I'll check that now. But I've definitely used it. I've used Garganic Terror to break teams before. Like when I faced Copy a couple years back, a couple seasons back, I ran like Sulky on it. Basically broke down his whole team
Yeah.
because he didn't bring like a covert cloak. So it's gonna force them on. If they don't bring covert cloak, that Sulky against a team with like a lot of with 2 big steals or 2 walls, that's just doing 25%. That just basically breaks Mons open. Sidgeway doesn't get to.
Okay. Yeah. So this team's gonna struggle at some points. I feel like if he hits Bundle Hydros, he's fine. But if anybody has a Water Absorb Pokemon that is not weak to Ice, he might run into trouble. But I feel like this team's in general, it is good breaking power, but it's not the best. I feel like out of all the teams we've seen so far, I think it's about the same as Ordinary, so a 7, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go with that.
Now, to I think the weakest part of this team in general, supporting.
Registeel's a good support mon. Garg's a good support mon. That's about it.
Yeah, this team forces Decidueye into a supporting role a lot of weeks, and I just don't see it being that good in a supporting role most of the time because the stats just don't give that away for Decidueye.
I think honestly, you're even gonna have to run support moves on Cinderace and Mega Lopunny occasionally because Lopunny has a really good support move pool, but you only really want to bring a support move like once in a blue moon for like a surprise tech.
Exactly. So I feel like this team is the worst supporting cast we've seen so far.
You're gonna rely really, really heavily on Lopunny, Cinderace to just kind of tear through stuff.
Yeah. I feel like 3 or 2 is the appropriate for the supporting cast here because it's gonna get carried by Garg and Registeel.
Yeah, their momentum's really bad as well. Looking at it as well because it's only got the top 3 speed tier mons, and then that's
Decidueye technically and Oricorio technically get momentum,
okay.
but I don't think it's what's gonna carry him over the hump here. So I think if you like 3 is the right number here.
Yeah, I go with 3.
Aaron, you good with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. So last up, problem solving. This is also where
Oricorio can problem solve.
this is also where this team kind of has a problem because looking at a lot of the mons, they're gonna run very similar sets. Cinderace and Enamorus, I think, are the 2 biggest problem solvers here. Because Enamorus could technically run the contrary set, or just standard special set. And Cinderace can run a supporting move pool with core change, U-turn, taunt, and stuff.
It gets enough coverage as well where it can surprise you with like a random move. Like if there's something that's really weak to electric moves on special size, you just click Electro Ball, for example.
I feel like a big problem here as well is Decidueye is forced into a supporting role and into a problem solving role, and Decidueye is just not the best problem solver.
I would say Oricorio is just someone that if the can also solve a problem in some matchups where it can just break a team open early.
Yeah,
I actually my best experience using it was actually to run it like lead set and just surprise the team with like a couple of kills.
like Garganackle is gonna run most of the time the same type of sets. Maybe a body press iron defense set once in a blue moon. Same goes for Registeel. It's gonna run the same sets most of the time. So I feel like this team's problem solving ability is probably a 4.
I go with 5. I lean 5. I think there's Gar can do slight. I know, and actually, even then, like you can't run AV for everyone. You're never going to run AV on Gar, for example, because you've got recover. So there's no point not having the healing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I go with 4.
Aaron, you agree?
I'd say 3, but yeah.
There we go. We're done with LS. Off to the next person, Sohamspur. So, looking at Soham's team, let's start with the essentials again. This team has 3 dark types, by the way.
I don't hate it, but I don't like it.
So let's look at some types that are missing. Electric is missing, which isn't a big deal here. I feel like it's fine for this team personally. But the one big issue I have is he does not have a flying type, and his only ground resist is Shiftry.
Which is not a really good resist, even with now Wind Rider.
And he didn't fix those issues with Terra types, for example. He does not have a flying type in general, and not a levitator, so ground type moves are gonna be awful against him. He does have his grounded poison type in Swalot. His water type is not immune to. He has no water immunity, but he technically does have Sun, which is gonna lighten the strength of water moves sometimes. But something to also look at, he does have 3 dark types, but he's still weak to Ghost.
He has 3 psychic types as well, which is...
That's probably why he's so weak to Ghost.
The thing is, like, none of the psychic types he's drafted are bad mons, but I don't think you want all 3 on the same team. Even though 2 dark types, fair enough, but I think Shiftry, you need a better grass type here. If you're not going to have a ground type, a better grass. Actually, honestly, replace one of the psychics, one of the dark types with a better grass and a better psychic, a flying. You're probably a lot better off.
Like, I don't hate Shiftry here. Shiftry has its roles, and it got buffed. It has Wind Rider now. It can take like wind moves without getting damage, and just gets the speed boosts off it. So I don't think it's bad, but it's not the best mon here, considering you already have 2 dark types, and it's not the greatest grass type. By the way, Aaron, what the fuck is that Gardevoir picture?
What I wanted.
In a sec.
Let's look into more though. Hazard setting for this team is Torkoal, Swampert, and Jirachi. Technically, Dio speed too.
Dio speed as well.
Yeah, he does have screens with Dio speed.
And he has spikes on Swallow as well.
Yeah, and removal though. Removal is a problem.
Is it default Shiftry?
It's default Shiftry and Rapid Spin Torkoal. That's it.
I'm not liking this team.
This team has some issues. Especially, again, look at the speed tiers. The speed tiers are not the greatest. He has 3 mons above 100 and above.
It's acceptable, but it's not ideal.
Yeah.
Mega Banette's fun, though.
Mega Banette's fun. It got buffed. It has Poltergeist now, Sword Stands, and Trailblaze. All buffs it got this generation.
One of the worst megas in the entirety of existence, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's better than Mega Houndoom, I guess.
I feel like
I literally told someone to graph, but
I feel like Mega Banette is gonna surprise a few people with the damage it does with Poltergeist. But then again, a lot of people know Mega Banette just for the Prankster Destiny Bond.
I think Mega Banette actually will be a good mon. I think it actually is going to surprise a lot of people, but I still don't rate this team.
Yeah. This team's essentials are not the greatest, especially looking at, like, it is very weak to 4 types. Like, being that very weak is not good, because Swallow is not going to come every week, because Swallow is your only poison, but it's not a good poison type. You can technically run the Obstagoon as a poison type with Terra, but then again, you're relying on Torkoal and Jirachi to take the fairy moves.
I would say hopefully they're not bringing every dark type, the 3 dark types every week, but with with Shiftry and Royal Moon both being boosted by Sun, that doesn't give me, that kind of means that there'll be some weeks where you're bringing at least 2 dark types, and then Torkoal's having to there take basically fairy hits, and if it's a Moonblast, it ain't taking many of them.
Exactly. So I feel like Soem has one of the weaker essentials. I feel like 6 or 5 is where it's at.
Or maybe I'm maybe being harsh, but 4.
4, Aaron, what are you saying?
I'd agree with the 4.
Okay, let's go with the 4 then. Next up, breaking power. Looking at the breaking power, physical breaking power for this team, at first glance it looks amazing because Bayonet buffs the stat a lot with 165 base attack. But then again, it is pretty good physical. Breaking power special is a problem.
Yeah, it's Jirachi and Gardevoir's pretty good, but
yeah,
it's Jirachi.
Bayonet can technically run Calm Mindsets, but it's not gonna.
Hariyama's too slow and is more of like a assault vest mon, so it's not really going to be doing loads of damage.
Then
Swampert never really running offensive; it's always defensive. Shift
yeah.
Tree can do it with Life Orb in the right spot, but then it's Shift Tree Life Orb.
Nasty Plot and Sword Sense are there for Shiftry. I feel like Roaring Moon carries the load. Roaring Moon and Gardevoir can carry the load of Breaking Power.
I don't know. It's
I don't think it's as bad as we think it is.
their
Obstagoon
Obstagoon
is,
could be very, very good. Hariyama is also very strong, but it's mostly
Yeah.
to be fair, Terra Normal Facade, Obstagoon could well hit hard.
Yeah, same with Terra Normal, Hariyama Facade. So he does have good breaking power, physical more than special here again, but it's there. I don't think Gardevoir being your strongest special attacker is the way to go if it's not Mega Gardevoir, but it's a choice you made. I think like if you
it's
like,
just gonna be scarf locked a lot. That's all.
yeah, that's the thing. So I feel like breaking power is still good on this team. I would say like a 7, good.
Yeah, I go 7. I think it's pretty decent in this role.
Yeah. You agree, Aaron?
I agree.
Okay. Supporting. Jirachi and Deoxys are good supporting mounts.
Yeah.
But
Guard
that's
gets
better.
Wish too as well.
Gardevoir's never gonna click Wish. If you're clicking Wish on Gardevoir, you're kind of like failing.
Yeah.
You'd have to be like, you have to baton pass like +3 defense and then start setting up Calm Mind.
Exactly. Swampert is a good supporting mount. Bayonet can technically run good supporting sets.
Warlock is not too bad as a support mon now with Stuffed Cheeks and like other stuff.
No, it's okay.
It's decent. It's not amazing. Dio Speed and Jirachi are gonna carry most of the supporting load, I feel like, but it's good.
Torkoal gets Spin and Rocks, but and it gives basically boost to Shift Tree and Roaring Moon.
I feel like
Only thing I dislike though is Torkoal will boost up. I think the good thing about this team is he has the option to not bring Torkoal because Torkoal is going to boost up other teams' mons as well quite a bit.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of them in the format.
Yeah, he has Torkoal, but only 2 Sun Abusers, technically.
I mean, you don't need a shitload, but
Yeah.
it's just not the prime time Sun Abuser.
Yep. So I feel like this team supporting, I feel like a 6 is good.
Yeah, I agree. Middle of the pack.
Yeah, I get that. I go with that.
Can
Now,
operate.
problem solving. Biggest problem solver in this team is Jirachi.
I actually think it's a Dio.
Dio and Jirachi carry that load, yeah.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of mons are gonna run that different sets. Like Obstagoon is probably gonna run Guts most weeks. Same with Hariyama. Torkoal is forced into like the Sunsetter. Maybe you can run an Eruption Trick Room set sometime with the help of Gardevoir. Swalot is there. Mega Bayonet is gonna be supporting a lot or maybe being a hard hitter. It can technically be a problem solver, but I don't think he will use it as a problem solver.
No, I wouldn't. It's kind of up to like Deoxys to either run a setup set against something that kind of hardwalls the rest of his team and try to break it, or if he wants to just set up hazards constantly.
Yeah.
Screens. Jirachi does the same fucking thing.
Shiftry
Shiftry
can be a decent problem solver in Sun, but outside of Sun, it's just
I think it's just gonna be lackluster. I wouldn't rely on it.
So I feel like 5 to 6 is good again here.
5.
Because he does have the problem solvers, but both the biggest problem solvers, both being a psychic type, is not ideal.
It's just that they're all weak to Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of his main problems.
That's really the only problem with it. Like, it's fine if they overlap weaknesses, but there's not like a
him being majorly weak to Ghost, even though he has 3 dark types, is kind of hard.
Like, obviously, it's a great Ghost counter, but you're going to be bringing options way more than you like.
Yep.
Draining Kiss or Sphere. Shaft it.
So, next up. Jack-o'-lantern. So this
He's
is
actually battling Spur as we speak.
okay. So
We'll watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it after.
yeah. So looking at everything here, essentials first again. He has one water type, but he does have a water absorb Pokemon in Clodsire, which is good. Poison type is grounded. He only types he's missing are ice, bug, and rock, which are not essential types in a draft. His steel type is Golden Go, which is a pretty good steel type. Fairy type is Togekiss, which is pretty good as well. Two normal types is okay. I don't think Grandpa's gonna come a lot or even some. I don't. It might not come at all.
Chinchino might rate, but yeah, I think both of them on the same team's a bit.
Mm-hmm. Aaron
They
again
also-
made the
they're
Palafin
also-
mistake here, not
They're also
putting it in
very
a
weak
hero.
to normal spam as well.
Yep. Only Golden Go will take the normal hits. I guess technically a Steel Terra Drampa.
Yeah.
Because I guess Drampa with Terra could actually come in some weeks.
Yeah, it's not a bad option.
Yeah, it's not a bad
Yeah.
option. Maybe
You
I'm
never bring
underrating
Chino
it a
and
little.
Jump in- You never bring Chino and Jump in the same week, but
Yeah.
they're probably both not there to come in the same week anyway. So
So let's look at speed tiers here too. Speed tiers are pretty good. He has 2 Pokemon over 100, 2 Pokemon at 100, and then like some below. This team, though, only thing that stops this team from getting Trick Room Sweep is Drampa. Drampa's legit the only mon that is gonna work in Trick Room if somebody decides to use Trick Room against Jack. So I feel like he has most of his essentials are like there, so I don't think he has a huge problem except for maybe the ice weakness.
yeah,
The ice weakness is there.
his hazards are on 2 mons, but honestly, you don't need much more than Clodsire and Meow for hazard setting. I guess like that would probably be the only downside on it. Steve Fog's good.
He has gold.
Right.
He also has Golden Go to like take a few hits, like non-damaging moves. Golden Go can just switch into.
Yeah.
I feel like this team is essentials are pretty good for this team. Yeah, I would give it an 8.
I'm just working out which ones. I'm just working out which ones take hits that would be going for Palafin when you switch it out because you're gonna get 1 free hit.
Mhm.
Yeah, I go 8. No, sorry, because you got a Palafin, you want to basically have something also to take hits that would be directed at a Palafin as well.
The only thing like to mention here, this team is not the best defensive team. Rotom Heat being your highest defensive, physical defensive stat Pokemon, and Togekiss your highest special defensive Mon are not great. But he's also his only 2 walls in quotations. Clodsire and Togekiss have recovery. Rotom does not. So
Pain split.
We'll get Pain Split, yeah.
yeah, Pain Split
Yes,
is
like
not
that.
reliable though.
Yeah,
It's just going to be matchup dependent on how well his walls can operate.
Yep. So I feel like essentials are 8 or a 7.
Okay.
say 7.
Okay. Next up is the breaking power. And this is where this team, I think, excels. Golden Go, Palafin, Mega Medi, Meowscarada with Flower Trick even. This team is very good at breaking.
yeah.
It's like an 8.
I agree, like- Because we can't see Palafin Hero on the dock. I go over 9 immediately. Like it just off the bat. Even Togekiss can get nasty plot if you really want to
Yeah.
experiment. Chinchino it with Skill Link or even Technician can actually do tons of damage.
Yeah, so,
Clodsire is was a kill leader in BTL.
yeah, so I feel like this team will do very well in breaking, so I would give it a 9 too. Support.
Still.
Support is gonna get carried by
Well,
Rotom, Togekiss, and Clodsire.
It's really all there is. It's like it's a limited team. Back end points fit into. So.
Yeah, it's a very top-heavy
Gold-
team, but it works.
Goldengo does get T-Wave as well and can be a very bulky set as well in the right spots.
Yeah.
And now it's got to get to taunt and stuff.
Mhm. So
Mouse Guard against taunt and stuff.
yeah, so I feel like this team does have supporting options. It does not have the best supporting options. I would say a 6 or a 7 is good here because there is definitely some places where this team lacks in support, but there's some places where it excels. Do you two agree?
Yeah, I agree. Sorry.
Aaron?
What was your score again?
I said 6 or 7.
A 7.
6. I think 6. I don't think it's too flimsy.
Yep. Last up on this team is the problem solving. Biggest problem solver on this team obviously is Palafin. I feel like Palafin is a great problem solver.
Yeah, it's got a lot of options.
You can even run the special
also
sets.
really helps. Skarta's a great problem solver.
Golden Go.
Togekiss can also be very good.
Yo, why did you get so
You're being
loud all of a
way
sudden?
up.
Holy.
Because my mic cuts out if I have it a certain way, so I have to adjust it. So I
Okay.
went
I
from
thought you had gone a bit quiet as well. Palafin
Yeah.
can be a surprising number of options.
it's really Palafin, Skarta, Golden Go.
Yeah.
Rampa.
I guess Rotom can break sometimes, but I wouldn't consider it a problem solver because it's still within its like normal sets and like
Yeah.
it won't really be solving much of it.
I feel like this team problem solving 7 or 8.
7.
I'd go with 7.
There we go for Jack's score. Next up. Holy sh.
I told you
What
you
the
know which
heck?
one.
Oh
I
my
told you
God.
you know exactly which one's Callum's.
So Callum made this
Hello, what the
one.
fuck's wrong with you, mate?
This
What?
is Luster's team.
You're the fucking chemist. The Breaking Bad man himself.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Callum
perfect
is here.
timing.
Perfect timing. We're at
that's
Luster's
He was like,
stage.
I gotta wait till they get on Luster slide.
No. It was like instantaneously 7 people DM me for work stuff and school stuff. So now I'm kind of stuck.
Okay.
So I just told everyone that I haven't. I told the work people that school people were calling me, and I told the school people work people were calling me, and I made time for a luster slide.
Okay. So let's
Oh,
go.
Can I ask, what the fuck is that Dragapult picture?
Yeah, that
You want us
that
to
one
Mawile?
is.
Yeah, that's like how I'm gonna do all of these. Like one sexy ass Pokemon, and then the rest of it's just fuckery.
Let's start
Fair
with
enough.
Luster's essentials, though.
Thank God you didn't do
He has a
Victini.
Clefairy.
Yeah.
He's got a Clefairy, Clefable. He's got a Corviknight, and he's got a Dragapult.
This is the best team
I
he's
feel
ever
like-
drafted, probably. So we'll see how he actually plays with it.
This
Should
team.
be fine though.
And his only ground type is Silvally.
Yeah.
Ill.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
the
his
worry
main
thing.
core that really.
Well,
He
has a
clearly,
fan
clearly
base.
he went top heavy, and then he just drafted Silvally because he couldn't be asked to try to figure out how to divvy up points
Yeah,
for like a bunch of
that's exactly
three-pointers.
what happened. This is like
He's
his
got
second time drafting this.
He's got a Fanphy, like that's a ground type as well. Let's be fair. That could bring. Does it get rapid
Yeah,
spin?
the Terra Hatterene is definitely very cool. I'm pretty sure Fanphy does
I
get
agree.
rapid spin, but if you rapid spin on the Fanphy, you are mentally ill.
Whoops. Okay.
I
here we go.
mean, look at the team's draft. Look at the last 2 picks. Let's be fair.
He didn't go for ground on.
What happened?
No, I just watched a kid drop his fucking ice cream
Oh.
because he went to like thumbs up the camera. Dude, he fucking
Of course,
thumbs up the
Roy would
camera.
laugh at a kid dropping his ice cream.
I'll show you.
That's
It's the first video. It's the first video.
'Cause it's
He
funny.
literally, because he was on the Jumbotron and he's like, "Yeah, here's the thumbs up," and he dropped the whole fucking thing and he picks it up. It's all gone. Oh, they
I do
gave
ice
him another
cream.
one. They
Yeah,
gave him.
exactly. They're gonna give him another one. It's funny.
Looking at Luster's
I
team,
hope he
though,
drops it again.
he is weak to Ghost and Dark, and Savali has to fill those roles. Savali has to fill a lot of roles on this team. Holy
Yeah.
shit!
So Valley is basically his ground type, his electric type,
His ice,
his ice type, his fighting type.
everything it
his
needs to
normal
fill.
type.
Ground type, psychic type, I guess.
Hey, but he teared the Savali, so surely it problem solves something, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I feel like Luster only having 7 actual viable Pokemon is gonna put him in some jeopardy
Terra
when
Reem is
building.
definitely coming twice.
I don't know
Harry's
how
coming.
you see 7. I just see 6.
Really?
It's his top
Yeah.
6 is gonna come every game. Like it's
Oh
like
yeah, almost every
a
game.
few teams will need Silvally, but that's like when it actually does something proper. Not like, oh, I need a poison type, but it gets shafted. Which he has a poison type, but it was an example. Like, oh, I need a ground type, I get shafted.
Yeah. Also looking
Like, quick question: how's the Terra working with Silvally? Because I'm still not sure on this.
He
What is it?
has
How's
to,
it working?
we told him he has to run the stab. So like if he's Terra Dragon, he has to have the memory.
Okay.
So he can't just like be a dark type and then Terra into a fairy or something.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so what are we giving Luster on essentials?
Probably a fucking 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be like a 5.
When he has 7 crucial roles combined into a fucking fake Arceus, I think it's a pretty bad idea.
Yep.
I'm the biggest Silvally fan on the planet. 5. Silvally's doing too much here, and I say this as someone who uses Silvally to cope with stuff.
Silvally is the copium mon, isn't it?
Let's go
It's
for
so
breaking
okay,
power
one.
next.
Silvally can break. If you multi attack is fucking powerful, and 2 times Terra is going to do some stuff.
Breaking
And
power is
Victini.
literally just pull Grand Victini and he's a-okay.
Pulled Grand
That's about
Victini, yeah. Sometimes maybe Life Orb Clef.
Mm.
So I feel like breaking power is solid. It's a 7. He has enough like move diversity on Gran and Victini to cover a lot of weaknesses. Do you all agree?
I do.
I agree.
Callum?
I was the first one to say 5.
On offense?
Has to be Cab.
On breaking power?
I agree with 5.
There is no breaking power. He gets a 0. Fuck out of here.
Hey, that's a little mean.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck.
Let's go.
Choice band Corviknight, guys.
Let's go to support.
I'll show you Scarf.
His only supporting mons are Clef and Venu. Technically Silvally, but yeah. That's it.
Hatterene is magic bounce, I guess, if you're
We don't
pushing it.
count Henry.
I count
I count
Hatterene.
Hatterene.
Terra,
I count
it's got
Hatterene.
potential.
It's
I'm
a
not
370 base Pokemon. It's never coming.
I think it comes one matchup, probably, just to prove us wrong. Fanfi's never coming.
He's definitely gonna piss us off one day.
He's going to bring both. He's going to bring Hatterene and Fanfi every week. Luster, prove us wrong. Bring Hatterene and Fanfi every week.
Roy, if he plays you, he's gonna bring both of them and still beat you somehow.
I mean,
Damn,
it's
that's
Luster.
crazy.
And of course he'll beat me.
No.
It's Luster.
No, you will not.
Oh, yeah, Keller will probably help me. Yeah, I'll be fine.
Yeah. So, support is a 3 or 4.
I'll give it a 4 just because I rate Silvally and Mega Venusaur and Corviknight, but again, you're stuck on 7 mons. I hate it.
Yep. Last of all is problem solving.
Dragapult?
Yeah, I think
Silvally is a problem solver?
Dragapult is a problem solver. Gran can be a problem solver. Victini can be a problem solver.
Fable is a problem solver. Everything is a problem solver. It's like a 10 out of 10 problem solver.
Yeah.
He's only going to win because every single Pokemon is an excellent problem solver.
Yep.
Fanfi is a problem solver if you need a hug.
Yeah, true. And Hatterene is gonna beat you up if you need a hug.
Dude,
Oh,
this is
shit.
a solid 26.
So, this was Luster got some weird scores, but let's keep going. This is Zeb. What the fuck is that Rillaboom?
I love that
What?
Rillaboom fucking
It's a shit.
What the fuck is that? Holy shit!
thing. He's just working out, man.
What is life and not the constant hunger?
I don't know what to say right now. This Rillaboom picture is fucking confusing the shit out of me. Why does this
You're
exist?
questioning yourself?
No, why does this exist? That's what I'm
Just admit
questioning.
You're questioning yourself.
No, I'm not.
There was some worse stuff I could have posted.
I don't want to know. I
Yeah.
don't. Okay.
I thought that was pretty fitting for Zeb.
Bro
Okay.
said, "Sir, this is a draft league. Go be
Oh,
a philosopher and Smogon draft. Like Smogon draft isn't a draft league."
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the hub of everything, so it's easier to just be a weirdo there.
So let's start with essentials.
Goodbye.
Bye. Calm's gone
Bye,
again.
dude.
So essentials. Zep does not have a dragon type, which makes him a little more weak to grass, electric, and water. He has 2 water types, but no water absorb Pokemon or storm drain Pokemon. His poison type is grounded, that's good. Let's look at speed tiers. 130, 110, 95. Okay, only 2 mons over 100. But Rillaboom's speed tier doesn't matter because it's just gonna press Grassy Glide every time.
Yeah, but it sucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you can't spell GG without... Sorry, Grass Guy without GG. Let's be fair.
Yeah. He does not have any particularly hard weaknesses, if you look at it. And I do like Terra Moltres and Dunsparce for him. They are pretty good Terras. He does also have Empoleon, which got buffed.
Empoleon is also neutral to freeze dry, so that's really handy.
He has good hazard
I feel like
setting
you
and
said that
removal.
already, but I got distracted by a tag.
Yeah, he has good hazard setting and removal. He has a spinner, he has 3 defoggers, he has a magic bounce Pokemon. Diancie will set up stuff, Drapion has T-spikes, Tusk can set up rocks, Empoleon can set up rocks, Dunsparce can set up rocks, so he has good hazard setting and removal. I feel like this team in Essentials is... It's an 8 or a 9. It's very good in Essentials.
9. I say 9. I think it's really good in Essentials.
Aaron?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, okay. 9 it is for Zep. Next up is the Breaking Power.
Super good.
Do not sleep on Burn Up, Terra, Fire, Moltres.
Breaking Power is...
Moltres, Tusk, Spectrier,
Mega Diancie. This team
Wash and Rillaboom can fill it if they need to. It's like a 10 almost.
I would say a 9. It's amazing breaking. Some stuff needs to set up. Some stuff is just not threatening immediately, but the important ones are.
Yeah.
Even competitive Empoleon is going to hit like a truck in the right spots.
Exactly.
You don't even need investment. You just need to get it in.
So I would say a 9 is good here.
I'd say a 10. I think it's just how much it covers. Like, there's so many different avenues you can go with this Breaking Power.
He also has a Pursuit Mon and Drapion.
Drapion's really good. I wish it was Terra, but Dunsparce is there, so. And Moltres got 12 points out of it, so.
Roy, what are you
Honestly,
giving?
I think Dunsparce... I go 10 as well.
Okay.
Dunsparce is a fantastic Terra on his team too.
For 1 point, it's fucking ridiculous.
Supporting roles. Supporting roles are filled pretty well, I feel like. Moltres is a good support, Rotom washes, Empoleon
is, because now it gets boost.
Even Mega Diancie can be a pretty good supportive mon. The only thing the only thing I would maybe say he does not have is a Wish Passer, but he maybe doesn't need it because Empoleon has Roost. A lot of mons of his get
Grassy Surge, Roost on Empoleon and Moltres. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I feel like this team is also pretty good in supporting.
Does Headlong Rush get nerfed by grassy terrain? Or I don't think it does.
Nope.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Bulldoze and Earthquake do, and something else does as well.
I would say this team has supporting, and this team is an 8. Yeah.
I would give it an 8.
And now problem solving. This might be the part where his team is the weakest, but it's still good because
I actually think it's really, really good problem solving.
Diancie is just one huge problem solver. Mega Diancie
Wash
especially.
is a huge problem solver. Tusk has just defensive Tusk can solve a few problems for this team.
Rillaboom as well can run actually surprising that set.
It's actually good on this team. Which is shocking. Like it's built so it has Rillaboom. Moltres is great. I think everything on his team is a problem solver in its own, so it's huge marks.
I feel like this is an 8 as a problem solving.
I go 9.
I'd say 8 just to keep it solid because
it's not perfect, but it's great.
9 might be like a little excessive.
I would say this is the team so far I've seen that I'm most scared of facing.
Yeah, Zep has probably the best drafted team right now that we've seen. Taco. He drafted Rain.
After deciding like 7 times.
So, essentials. Taco does have a rain team, so it brings its weaknesses with it. But considering that, he only is weak to 2 specific types: ground, which only Torn and Tang take, and fire. But fire is nerfed in rain, so he's fine with that most likely.
He's got 3 water types.
Mhm.
One of them's a quad resist, so
Yep.
it's honestly not horrible.
His poison
The only reason one's a fire weakness is because of Fluffy.
Yep.
Yeah. Without that, he'd be fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looking at it, his poison type is grounded. That's good. He has a water absorb Pokemon if he wants it, technically, in Politoed.
Yeah.
Looking at other stuff, his speed tiers are pretty good. Some Pokemon obviously get boosted by the rain.
Yeah.
One thing that might be scary for his team is Trick Room, just because of the nature of his mons being very fast.
Yeah. Houndsome kind of helps with
Same with
that
Scizor,
a bit,
but
just because it's
Scissors
so
are
bulky.
parity.
Yeah. Looking at the stat distributions as well, he has good special attack, he has good physical attack, so nothing really stands out as being bad. He even has, for a rain team, he even has good hazard setting with, he has Overquill, he has Tink, even Swampert can set rocks if he needs to. Removal might be a little lacking because he only has Scissor and I think Torn for that, right?
Yeah, it's
Those
Fizzle
two,
and
yeah.
Torn. Nothing else gets removed there.
Yeah, so I feel like removal is the weakest part of his team in general. His team is pretty solid.
Yeah, he has better
I like it.
Kingdra.
Yep. So
Both his main, like Oracle is the only rain abuser of his main ones that doesn't have flip turn, so he gets pivoting.
yeah. So
It's gonna be very easy to pilot.
yeah,
Even Jolteon gets Weather Ball.
I would give this team.
Jolteon gets Weather Ball now.
Yeah, I would give this team a 9, honestly, in Essentials. It's very good.
9. For a rain team, this is what you want it to be.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd give it an 8. I think 9's a little high, but 8's fine for me.
Next up, we have the breaking power. And considering it's a rain team, it's breaking stuff.
I think it's 8. A solid 8. It comes in, it sets the rain. Politoed's very, very weird to have as your main rain setter. It's got a lot of these things that but even out of rain, like Torn, Wake, Tank, Overquill, Scizor, Tangrowth, that works, you know? Like it doesn't have to run Wayne if it really is a problem with it.
I think that's what he wanted as well. And also, like, Politoed, I'll get to it in the next one. Politoed has some different stuff to Pelipper that makes it useful in this team.
Yeah.
I love Politoed over Pelipper.
So I would agree with Aaron here. An 8 is very good. An 8 is just right for breaking.
Oh, yeah. There's also Houndsome can do some decent damage with Stab Poltergeist as well.
Mm-hmm.
Even it's really just there to be your wall. I mean, it's a lot bulkier than people think it is.
Yeah, if people aren't careful, this thing can set up a Source Stance in the rain and just sweep you.
Yeah, Overquill is second in kills in BTL on the rain team for a reason. And I've just faced it in an Ubers matchup. It's such a threat in rain. It's really underrated.
Yep. Next up is
Barbarage is a home move as well. Fuck Barbarage.
Supporting is decent on this team. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's decent.
Politoed's a really good support mon. Encore. I think it's Taunt as well.
Mm-hmm. He has good momentum. He has flip turns, he has Volt Switch, he has U-turns. So that's pretty good. Tinkaton is
Compass?
okay. Tangrowth is gonna run defensive and supportive sets a lot, I feel like, in this scenario.
Yeah.
But Overquill is also carrying a lot of supportive roles, I feel like, here.
Houndsong gets Will-O-Wisp, which can burn a few things. I'd give it 8 again.
I wouldn't give it an 8. 8 is too high for supporting on this team. I would say 6 or 7. It's not bad, it's decent.
Yeah, that's fair. I go with 8 because there's like I especially love Taunt as a support mon. It's such a good Taunt as a support fast mon with default Taunt. Tinker Time with Mold Breaker as well is quite handy.
Yeah. What are you saying, Aaron? Aaron?
Sorry, I was muted. 7.
7.
Okay.
7 is fine. Last is problem solving. This might be where the team has problems. Because without the rain, some Pokemon just are weaker.
It's mostly Mega Swampert. I think Wake still operates somewhat well. Overkill's still very good with the Terra.
Yeah.
Jolteon has an issue, but that's against ground types, really.
I feel like the biggest problem solver on the team obviously is Torn. Because Torn is just that amazing.
It helps a lot.
Overcool can be a problem solver on the team. It can run defensive, it can run offensive. It can just run straight up support. And
Just run Barbarage and poison everything.
Yep. So I feel like problem solving is good. I would say I would just give it a 7 or an 8 again. It's not amazing,
Okay,
but it's good. Aaron, you fine with 7?
I'd give it. I'm debating between 6 and 7, but I think 7's fine.
There we go then. Next up. This is Sage Spike, actually. He said he's not Sage Spike, he's just Spike. So, Spike. He has the E-Terrain team. Well, not technically E-Terrain, he's not abusing it a lot.
I mean, Moth Raichu Alola is enough.
Yeah. So let's start with Essentials. And the biggest thing looking at Essentials, he's ground weak.
No Ghost type is actually the biggest thing in my opinion.
That is
Well,
also
the
a big
ground
point,
weakness,
yeah.
But he is a flying and a levitate mon, so I don't think it's a big deal.
But
Yeah, it's
considering
not
he does not have a Ghost type,
Pokemon.
he has a lot of Pokemon that resist fighting type moves.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but
those
they're
are,
kind of frail.
yeah.
They're all very frail. Like Coco
I
is his
wouldn't
best case
call-
with Reflect.
I
Yep.
would not call Alone Raichu and Iron Moth like fighting resist, looking at their
Yeah.
stat.
Yeah.
At least physically, anyway.
Yeah, that might be a problem, yeah. So, let's look at speed tiers. Speed tiers are... He has no Pokemon between 100 and 110. Which, I think that's a gap you should probably fill. Urshifu Rapid isn't far from that, but it's still not at 100, and 100 is like a speed set that is important for specific matchups.
I think it's workable, but I can definitely see what you mean there. Like,
Mhm.
you probably wanting to run Urshifu and like Kyurem a bit too much Scarf.
Yep. Then, looking at some more stuff, his Terra Pokemon are Raichu and Lurantis, which aren't bad Terras, but I feel like he could have chosen better Terra Pokemon in general. He did not go for like a 12 to 10 point Terra Pokemon.
Honestly, Grafaiai would probably be a better Terramon on this team if you're going with the Unburdened stuff as well.
Maybe, but I
it's
feel...
just Bronzong and Raichu would have been nice.
Yep.
Lurantis is. I mean, you got to give it something, right? But
Yeah.
Bronzong with Terra gives it a lot of options.
I would say draft a better grass type, and yeah, I'd give like either Bronzong or Grafaiai the Terra type.
Mhm.
Grafaiai can do work in the right spot.
Yeah. So, Essentials are pretty filled. He does not have a Water Absorb water type. His water type is Shifu.
Yeah, his water doesn't really exist.
Yep. So I feel like it's good. Like a 7-8 good, but not
It's
a
a
9
7.
good.
A 7. His defensive water is Lurantis, which Lurantis is kind of an unmon.
I wouldn't call it an unmon. It has contrary superpower and contrary leaf storm. It can catch you off guard if you're making mistakes.
Okay, then it's not an unmon against me. I
Next,
don't know.
Give it a good picture.
next up, we have the breaking power. Breaking power, I think, is interesting.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Very good.
He has two good special breakers in Kyurem and Moth. And physical breakers, he has Shifu and also
Well, it can
Kyurem.
be a little underwhelming at times with that booster.
Mhm.
But it's got E-Terrain, so I guess you can go to Breaker.
It's basically effectively a booster.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing to mention though, that Raichu can be a scary breaker if he plays it right in some matchups.
If it
Yeah,
hits
I-
Focus Blast.
Yeah, if it hits Focus Blast.
I've been swept by Alone and Raichu before. It can actually be terrifying.
And Lurantis can actually do stuff sometimes, but I just wish it was faster.
I feel like one problem he has though, Kyurem is It is good both physically and specially, but I feel like he's gonna be forced into special Kyurem a lot.
I actually think it would be physical Kyurem a lot.
It's either one, it's gonna be a lot, and people are.
He's very overwhelmingly into special offense.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it's literally just like a Grafrai set and just Rapid or Shivu Rapid.
Yeah, Grafaya Belly Drum is scary though.
You can also bring like physical Coco because I know also I've seen the week 1 battle and I know one of the monsters. I remember one of the monsters he brought was Lurantis,
Mm.
and that was I think it was a mix set.
Mm.
Well, Lurantis is allowed to run mix because it's base 105 and 80 isn't terrible and it's got contrary.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I would
It's
say
like the only mon.
I would say for breaking 7 is just where it is again.
Yeah, 7's fine.
You good with 7, Roy?
Yeah, I'm with 7.
Okay. Supporting. Supporting is carried a lot by
By
specific
Mandibus.
mons. Mandibus and Coco, for example.
And Grafire
Yeah.
and Prankster.
Yeah.
I actually don't think he's gonna come a lot, but I think Zong's more of a supporting mon than it.
Mm. So I feel like supporting is okay. It's not amazing, but it's okay.
Coco Mandy is really, really good support wise. It's like enough to put it at an 8.
I would
Just
have
how
said
versatile they can be.
I would have said a 7, but the 8 is also fine for me.
I'd go with 8 because the Electric Chain really does help the rest of the team.
Yeah. And now for the problem solving. This is I think where their team lacks a bit because the biggest problem solvers here are Coco and Kyurem.
Go camera physical sets.
Mm. I feel
Grafire can do a surprise unburden set.
yeah. I feel like if he runs into a team that like matchup wise beats him hard, he's gonna just have a big problem because he doesn't have a lot of variation in specific Pokemon. Like
Yeah, it kind of goes like Coco, Kyurem, Mandibuzz,
yeah,
Grafrai.
those are like the biggest
Otherwise-
problem solvers because most other mons are gonna run similar sets. Maybe Shifu is gonna run Scarf, Band, or Setup.
Like Moth will run setup or T spikes.
Yeah.
Donphan will really only run Rapid Spin Stealth Rock Setter. Bronzong can have screens and stuff.
Yeah.
I love Zong, but it doesn't really have a Wish Passer outside of like Raichu or Lola.
Yeah,
which is weird,
that's
but
also
it's,
where
like,
he runs into some problems because the only
recovery.
defensive mon that has recovery is Mandibus.
Yeah,
Technically
everything else.
Coco if he runs defensive Coco.
And technically Lurantis with Synthesis, but so like he has options, but they're not. It's really just Mandibuzz, and like
Yeah.
then the offensive or late screen Coco getting star offensive Kyurem.
So I would say for
Setup.
problem solving it's probably a 6 or a 7. It's lower than the other stats for him.
I'd say 6.
I'll go with 6.
There we go for Spike then. Next up is P. McGee.
That Shaman's cute.
1 point Dunsparce is a crime.
He's
If
right.
you ignore this warning for 8 months, will we regret it? Maybe.
Probably will. Now that it's Terra.
Yeah. So, essentials. Looking at the first thing I noticed, he is very ice weak.
I mean, it's Manaphy, Skeledirge, Reverum.
Reverum
Well,
is
two
not
of them
gonna
are
come every
Asteras.
week.
Weatherroom's not a mon.
Terra.
Oh, he's got Terra. Okay, then it's a mon.
Yeah, it's a Mon. Sim's Dirge. She picked up like one of the best abusers for Terra.
I think 2 of the best abusers for Terra actually in the right spot with her Weatherroom.
Reverum's like
Oh,
50-50.
I will say this: I've drafted Weatherroom. And I don't think it's a bad mon, but when it's your only steel and poison type, it's a bit of a problem
Yeah.
because it's not a steel type.
Looking at the speed
That's why he's running
tiers,
Airblade.
the speed tiers are
Average.
average. The top is very misleading though because the only Pokemon that's actually gonna run a lot of speed is Skyman. Out of the top 3, because
You run speed in Cyclozar and Screamtail a lot because usually their speed tiers give them an advantage.
Mhm.
They're both. Cyclozar is never going to take a hit for you. No Shed Tail kind of makes it an Onmon.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you're either a jetpacking, Draco Meteor, overheating, knockoff, pivoting, or rapid spinning. So for the most part, you're going to be abusing the speed instead of the bulk.
You're going to be winning
just-
HP
just-
and speeds.
I just
You're
hate
going to
Cyclozar.
HP speed, just basically like you turning and AVing it a lot as well.
One thing to mention though, this team, when it comes to momentum, this team is amazing.
It's got a lot.
Heart and Sharp.
I think it's literally just the bottom 3 River Room Skeletor's Golem without it.
One thing to mention,
No,
the team does.
Weather Room gets Heart and Sharp.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, one thing to mention though as well about this team, he does not have a water absorb Pokemon again.
Yeah, and his water resists our Skyman, Cyclozar, and then of course Manaphy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Bundle obviously clears this team, but
Yep.
Yeah.
surely he gets webs up and then runs Scarf Shaman.
Yeah, the webs are pretty important, pretty cool here. They are not necessary, but they're cool.
Dude, Shifu round 3 was so huge for him.
Yeah, that was huge that he got rapid
The
strike.
first 4 are great, and then
Oh, that was
I don't
single
really
strike.
but
Wait, there was single strike Shifu round 3. Holy shit, how did that
Yeah.
happen?
Oh yeah, this is the bastard who sniped Manaphy for me. Motherfucker. I wanted Manaphy take heart because that's gonna be broken.
Oh yeah, take out Marnify is gonna be annoying against some specific coaches.
That's why I wanted it, so no other coach can have it.
I feel like Essentials are an 8 or a 9 for P. Megiddo. Essentials he fills pretty well.
I say
8.
9.
So, next up, Breaking Power.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Shift Gauge, Weather Room is going to be a threat with Terror. Skeletor can get out of control with Torch
It's just how
Song.
threatening Seed Flare forces Covert Cloak. So like even if you force Covert Cloak, you're still taking like 30% or some shit
Yeah.
from specs, no matter who you are.
the thing is,
And that
he-
seems
he has a good special and physical combination. He has Wicked Blow for physical and Seed Flare for special. That is not something you can switch into easily. Both of those moves.
Manaphy Take Heart as well is going to be a monster move as well in the right matchups because you can't just Toxic it and stop it from switch end up. Nope, it just heals that off.
it's really tough for this team to come in and immediately kill everything without Skyman and Shifu.
Yep.
Like everything else needs some form. Like Screamtail would need setup. Cyclozar needs to have a jetpack, otherwise it just hits and then dies.
Yep.
Manaphy needs some setup. It kind of struggles. Skeldridge as well. So it's like Vikavolt, Shifu, and Skyman are going to be the main like come in and hit something.
Yeah.
Which it works because Skyman and Urshifu are extremely good at their job. It's
Yeah.
just
I feel,
it's going to be hard.
yeah. Breaking for this team is a 9 though. I don't see
I think
this any lower.
I think it's like an 8 or a 7.
I go
I
9.
think just because of the over reliance on Skyman and Urshifu and Vikavolt to come in and break something,
yeah,
I
let's
think
it's gonna be really tough without like Screamtail's gonna help a lot with like Encore and stuff like that.
we can go for
Screamtail,
8
why
then.
I've got it as a 9 personally because I just Screamtail like being able to just support the rest of the team's 2 setup is going to make them a monster.
While we talk about Screamtail and supporting roles are the next thing.
Screamtail's insane.
Yep.
Weather Room's not bad as a support mon as well.
Honestly, it's just Screamtail. Like I think the rest is okay. Like
Manaphy
Gligar's
has
there.
support. Gligar has support.
Manaphy is gonna be
Right,
hogging a lot of
Skellige.
attention though.
Yeah.
Skeletor is a good support mon too. Sticky Web supports the team. I think it's a
I
7.
feel like a lot of support of the team is just the momentum he has. I feel he has
I
momentum
feel
on
like
almost every
Screamtail
mod.
is overly relied on though.
Mm,
It's gonna be overly relied on the Screamtail.
I guess yeah.
Mm,
So
that's fair.
5 maybe for then.
I
or
go
I
6.
agree with
personally.
6.
6, yeah. Let's go 6. Now problem solving. He has problem solvers. That's for sure. He has Manaphy. He has Shifu, which is a single problem solver. So is Skyman. Even Skeletors can be a problem solver if you need it to be.
Yeah, sometimes this natural book chips in.
Yeah.
Mm.
I feel like problem solving is very good for his team. So this is a 7 or an 8 again.
I go with 8.
You
I
agree-
say 7.
Screamtail flinches will win you matches on their own if someone doesn't bring a Covert Cloak.
Yeah. So, we are finished P. McGee then. Next up is... What the fuck is that? Oh,
Sorry,
That's-
Randy, sorry.
this...
That's
yeah.
the one Callum told me about.
What does it say? Because I can't even read it.
That's better if you didn't.
It's better if you don't.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm not reading it.
So, BGC. The guy who probably did the most free agent thingies in Claude. Constantly changing his team up.
Yeah, but it turned out pretty good instead of Psychic Turn King Gambit.
Yeah. So,
No ghost
He
type.
has no ghost type, yeah.
He has a grounded poison whilst also having a Galarian Weezing, so I like that.
But considering he does not have a ghost type, he has good fighting and normal resist, so he doesn't need the ghost type per se.
Yeah,
Um,
T-Type
Yeah,
ain't
it's
scary.
okay, but there's like 2 or 3 of them that won't be coming in against fighting types anyway.
Yep.
Armourouge is his second best bet.
Yep. But looking at it, he has a mix of terrain and sand, which will be scary. He has Dracozold Excadrill for sand sweeping. He has Unburden Sneasler for terrain terrain sweeping. Even Armarouge and Psychic Terrain is scary.
Yeah. Porygon Z's a very good mon as a go-between as well.
That's
Play
Porygon 2, not
2.
Z.
I knew that, but I meant to say Porygon 2. Porygon 2 is a very good mon here as a go-between as well.
Yeah.
He's also weak to water, but he's got a very good water absorb mon.
Yeah, in
But it will die
Ogerpon
Time
W.
Bundle.
Yeah, Iron Bundle will destroy Ogerpon. This Ogerpon especially. Looking at it, this team fills essentials a lot. Hazard removal is Defog, Weezing, and
Rapid Spin.
Excadrill.
It's it's okay,
removal is
yes.
not good.
It's okay.
Yeah. Setting is...
Weezing's very reliable, but it's also very not reliable at the same time because it might not come every week.
Yeah, setting is okay because T-Tar is the main setter, probably, so that's fine.
Yeah, Ogerpon and Excadrill can also do it.
Mm-hmm. One thing I have to mention, though, I don't like Mega T-Tar as the sand setter because you're forced into only 5 turns of sand, when maybe sometimes you want more.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I didn't know it was Mega T-Tar. Yeah, I'd prefer regular T-Tar here. You can also run
It's probably
Chopper
a
Berry
point too
some weeks.
much.
Yeah,
that's fair.
some people might run Protect against him, honestly, just because of the sand.
Protect stall is very much possible until T-Tar clicks Deviance.
Yep.
And then
So-
you're like, oh fuck.
So, but I think his essentials are filled pretty well. He's one thing to mention though, he's very fucking ground weak. Holy shit.
Yeah, no flying type, no ghost type.
The
he's
only
just
thing
bundle policy, obviously, just very fucking bad against it.
the only things that take ground hits are Ogerpon and Weezing, who is forced into Levitate.
No, there's no terrain from Weezing ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is never gonna happen anyway, but I think
Yeah,
this
you
team
don't
would
want
benefit
to, huh?
from
Reworking, I think Armarouge is it's good, but it's like not. They just put the points elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because Porygon and G-Weeze can really help the backbone of this team, but you really need one more solid remover, and then if you could just take the extra point and go up to T-Tar, it'd be better for you.
Mm-hmm. I would give this team's essentials a 7 because there's obviously lacking points, but it's
Maybe a 6 just because the ground weakness due to no flying, the no ghost type, and for a sand team, it's kind of like really, really weak to what it's
strong.
supposed to be countering.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's gonna overly rely on the Unburdened Sneasler and the Excadrill Sand Rush.
I'd
No,
also go
Dracozolt.
with 6 because of
Dracozold's
the
also
most
not
of the
Terran
rank.
for some reason, but
Oh yeah, Dracozolt not Terra is weird. I'd actually prefer Dracozolt. I kind of get Porygon 2 as a Terra, but I think Dracozolt's a better one.
Yeah.
Armarouge is fine, but the other one's not. Yeah.
Okay. So 6 it is then, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll go 6.
Okay. Breaking
Like,
power.
I love the team's aesthetic and like I would love using this team, but it's got weaknesses.
Yeah. Breaking power for
Very good.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
like a 9.
Zolt and Excadrill and Sand. Lele's a great breaker.
Sneasler,
Ogerpon and Sneasler.
Ogerpon.
T-Tar's a great breaker. Armarouge so fucking good at its job.
Yeah.
I think that's the highlight is that it's a 9.
Yeah.
I'll go 9.
Supporting roles. This is where this team also lacks. Supporting is forced onto 2 specific mons, Weezing and Porygon.
And you're gonna have to run Excadrill, Rapid Spin, Stealth Rocks on that or T-Tar. You're gonna be forcing yourself into a lot of sets.
Yep. I feel like supporting is the weakest part of this team, so probably a 5 personally. Weezing and Porygon are good supporters, but they can't carry the whole load of this team.
Yeah. I don't know. He could have like Armarouge for 10 points. Sorry, I'm just thinking. Easily could have gone down on that.
Yeah, and maybe make Draco's Ultis Terra then.
Definitely. Draco's also a little high because of Terra, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why
Very
it's so
high
high.
because of Terra. But Tutar is there for 13 instead of 12. I know 12 is tempting for Tyranitar Mega because it's a little cheap, but
Yeah,
well, you can't settle for cheaper if it's like significantly worse for your team.
exactly. So, what are your grades for supporting then?
I'd say probably 4.
5 only because Teton now gets knockoff.
Yep. Okay, and then problem solving. Might also be a problem for this team because not a lot of things will run different sets.
Versatility.
Yeah.
You know exactly what most stuff is running.
Yep.
Yeah, Sneasler might come a different unburdened set, but otherwise,
Yeah, probably he doesn't have a lot of problem solvers.
Lele's a little versatile, but it's
Yeah.
kind of weaker
I
because of the lack of utility on the team.
One problem solver I could see though is Mold Breaker Extra Drill with Rapid Spin.
Yeah, but get Sand Rush.
Yeah, but like if you don't want to run Sand, you can run that Extra Drill
It's like
type.
against Wash. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, against
or Mead, that's
Rotoms.
it.
Yeah, problem solving is a problem for this team though, yeah. I would say this is a 4 or a 5 as well.
I'd say a 6. Sand is still a thing.
Yeah.
And Overpond's still there.
Roy?
I would go with a 5.
Okay. There we go then for BGC. Next up is Order. Yeah, Order also
probably
rebuilt
will-
his team a lot in Grace.
Yeah.
Can't believe Order lied to us.
Yeah, Order lied to us. So we should just give him ones all over the board, right?
I agree.
Yeah, he also gave a certain human an ego inflation because 11 people picked against them in pick'ems.
lost.
Yeah.
And he failed the entire server, basically.
So
Like Dustsnore, what the fuck?
let's go over the essentials though. Water type does not no water absorb Pokemon.
No dark type.
No dark type, which is problematic.
Well, Dustmore, but
Dustsnore is a bit of a. I don't rate Dustsnore.
I love Dusknoir. It's a great one, but
I like Dusclops more than Dusknoir.
Same. Dusclops.
I hate Dusknoir. Just not Dusknoir, Dusclops, sorry, because of the knockoff. It's just so like it's tanky, but it's so
Just don't
reliant
switch
on
into
it.
a knockoff.
Yeah, just don't switch knockoff. Just burn
Or
it
just
before it
draft
comes in.
Dusknoir and click Poltergeist for the same amount of points.
I guess.
They're the same price. They might be 1 point different. I don't know.
Okay.
A lot of
isn't
leagues
Golok
have
the
them the
same?
same price.
But isn't Golok the same price? I just get Golok and Earthquake Stab and also Poltergeist Stab.
I guess, but he doesn't need Golurk because he has Blood Moon or Selena. But let's keep going with essentials. No dark type is a problem because your psychic resists are what exactly? It's
Scizor.
and Slowbro.
Loblo.
And a lot of psychic types get electric coverage, or at least dark coverage to hit the Slowbro. And a lot of psychic types at this point they have fire stab. No, not fire stab, but fire moves.
He also only has one hazard setter. It's a good one, but he has literally one. Oh no, two. Sorry, Infinite gets rocks as well. Sorry, apologies.
So the hazard setting is quite. Glimora is one of the best hazard setters, but only having one hazard, technically two hazard setters, is eh.
I
Removal.
mean,
is
a lot of times Gomorrah comes in, the hazards are pretty much permanent.
Yeah.
It's really hard. Like a lot of rapid spinners have a tough time versus
Glimora.
the Gomorrah.
Yeah.
And even defoggers tend to fucking suck. So
Yeah. Removal though is
That's good.
he has only defog and mortal spin, right?
he has 3
Yeah.
defoggers and a mortal spin, which is fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Honestly, I think mortal spin is just rapid spin, but instead of ghost types being the problem, it's
Steel.
steel types. But this
Yeah.
team has a fun time against steel types, so I think it's okay.
And plus,
Whereas
you
the
can
ghost
also
types
get
are bad.
plus against poison types. You can always just run corrosion as well, mortal spin, which is quite fun as well for certain poison types.
Yeah.
Defensively and offensively, this team is built pretty well, so I don't see a big problem. Speed gap though from Infernape to Glimora is a huge problem. I feel like.
Agreed.
It's on the lower end of 110 and it's the higher end of 80s. I think it's acceptable considering that Dustnor and Slowbro are going to be setting Trick Room for Ursaluna Blood Moon like 90 games in a row, basically, or some shit. It's going to be a main point of this team is to either set up a like Tailwind or something with Whimsicott and get like Lamora and Fernape in, or just Trick Rooming with Ursaluna Blood Moon.
Exactly.
I don't think he did that week 1, but yeah, I kind of agree on that.
Well, it's not my fault what he did week 1. He fucking lost. There's nothing else to it.
Suck less.
You're right. Like, he picked up this team.
Please don't beat me,
Lied
Order.
to us. He lied to us. He fucking lost.
How do we feel for Order's Essentials, though?
I still think
probably
it's
7.
7.
Yeah.
7 is good, yeah.
It's still stuff I don't like, but it's still good. I don't think it's bad. I think
This
obviously
team's
Ryan whipped stuff in it.
operatable. You'd operate with the team. It's fine.
So, next up, offensive breaking power.
I mean, he has
Really
Blood
good.
Moon. It's
Really
Mega
good.
Scissor.
Blood Moon, Zero Aura, Scizor, Infernape, Glamora, Noivern. It's just good.
Even
Terra
Dustnor,
Dustnor
I
can
hate
hit,
on.
yeah. It's really, really good.
I go
Like, the only
9.
things done on his team that don't break are like Whimsicott at times and then Slowbro.
Mm.
And even
honestly-
then, Slowbro can stall stuff out.
And even then, Whimsicott can sort stuff out as well. If you catch someone off guard, you
Yeah,
can just
with
go
Encore.
sub leech, and just do that until the end of time.
Yeah. Or just Encore them on something, leech them, and swap out. So I'd give it, honestly, I'm tempted for a 10, but I say a 9 solid.
I think 9.
I would agree with a 9 just because Ursaluna Blood Moon is just a monster. Physical offense is great. Mega Scissor doesn't even need to run investment to be scary on the offense. So next up, supporting roles.
Whimsicott's good support, man. I actually like it on this team better than the Sun team, the other draft. Here I like it a lot more. Namor is pretty good support with Toxics as well to wear stuff down. Slowbro can actually do teleport
is
stuff.
literally just Slowbro. It's gonna be like Whimsicott and Dustnor trying to pick up Slowbro's slack, and
I
then
do
Hazard
like-
being like Gamora's sole job.
I do like teleport a lot on Slowbro here. It does because it can give you free switches into Blood Moon.
Scizor and Noivern are also very good with like teleporting to them, take a hit or something, force it out, come in, U-turn, get one of the threats in. There's a lot of pivoting. The highest speeds all have pivoting of sorts. And then
I think
Scizor's reliable.
I
Double
think
teleport? I don't know about Dustnor, but
I think the only monsters that don't get pivoting are Blood Moon, Gamora, and Dustnor.
yeah.
Yep. So support is good. Like I don't like Whimsicott as the best support mon personally.
I think Slowbro is probably the best one though, actually, ironically, even though it's not like doing much other stuff than teleporting and Trick Room. Noivern is a good taunt mon as well, actually.
I
give
guess
this
yeah.
8 in a support. I actually do like its options.
I would say it's a 7.
I go 7.
So last up is the problem solving of Order.
I like the problem solving in this team.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of options. Trick Room, the fast mons all have all 4 of the 100 plus speeds are versatile.
Yeah.
Lamora solves problems with its hazards. It can get hit, or it can fucking perma poison stuff with corrosion. Scizor SD always breaks stuff. Ursaluna.
It can also sometimes come as a special attacking set. I've bought that a few times and actually sweep people with it.
Yeah. I think it was a solid 8 or 9 in problem solving. I think it's got a lot of options.
Yeah.
I'll go 9.
8 or 9 I feel like is fine. So we have
I would go 9 actually.
I would go more 8, but I understand the 9. Okay. There we go. Next up is Ashente with the Milwaukee Mawwas. What the fuck is that Mega Mawai picture? Where do you guys find these pictures?
What the fuck is wrong with you? Also, seeing a fucking choice band next to a Fairform after having to fight a fucking choice band Fairform earlier, it's just like, come on. For real?
A thorough underrated choice band mon.
Fucking kill my Landorus earlier with choice band Gyro Ball.
Yeah. So,
What happened?
the Mawile picture is very... Where do you find this stuff?
I look up Mawile fan art.
In his spare
Okay.
time. You didn't just do it for the slide, you just had it in his folder.
No, bro. Callum.
Oh, Can's folder,
Callum
sorry.
had a picture that was like 30 scrolls deep, bro. I don't
Right.
know.
Being serious now for a moment, I immediately see two very big weaknesses. Your only immunity and resist to ghost types is a Lanoon Galar.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
That's just no.
Guys, it gets Eviolite. It's okay.
What's that Eviolite gonna do?
Push its defenses.
I don't think the
Okay,
Lanoon is the greatest
Dude, a
picture.
Little Cup team, this thing slaps. That's all I gotta say.
Little Cup?
Okay.
Of course a Little
But yeah,
Cup.
Also, they have
actually-
three steel types.
It's despite the fact that there is no ghost type and that really the only big weakness is ghost and fairy.
Mm-hmm.
I do like this team. I think it works well together.
Yeah. Looking at it, water. There's two water types, but no water absorb again, so Palafin fodders.
No, but Gyarados Intim is still a thing.
Yeah, true.
I would
Use
say there's
them in
no
all these
grounded
Gyarados.
poison, but they don't really need it because nearly everything's off the ground or steel, so it doesn't really matter.
It's Latios, double steel type, triple steel type, but
Yeah, a lot of mons don't care about it. Yeah, that's true.
And Hatterene, you're not going to pick into
actually
anyway.
the
so
only
it's not
Pokemon that
background.
cares about it is Keldeo.
Yep.
Because if you come in Hatterene, but usually that's the answer to the poison type like magic bounce the spikes away.
Yep. Speed tiers are not the best.
Solid. They're not the best, but they're solid.
Yeah.
A lot of setup options. Two things will be Scarf almost every other game. Lightning
Mhm.
being the 100 speed's a little iffy, but
Yeah.
you're gonna run Trick Room sometimes anyway.
He doesn't even have a problem with having no ghost type. Because he has a lot of fighting resists, like good fighting
Yeah, the
resists.
Intib option.
Yep.
The defensive Psychic and Dragon type.
Mm-hmm.
Lando Intim. It's pretty good.
He should be way more weak to fighting than he is. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, Gyarados and Hat kind of carry that. Latios as well.
Even Lando.
You'd think. Because, like, Maw isn't weak to it.
hmm.
So it's like... It meshes together really well. Like, obviously, there's, like, 4 things they're missing extremely.
I would say ignoring the Lanoon Galar, because I mean that is a dangerous one that's coming every week except for week 1. There is a bit of a gap between 91 and 108 because I think Lanoon Galar, with respect, is coming for one matchup.
Yep.
Me to prove me wrong, but still.
91 and 108 is not that big of a deal when Lando can safely run Scarf. Like 81 can safely DD if it needs to in a matchup.
It's
Yeah.
weak, don't get me wrong, but like for how limited this team is,
I feel
it's alright.
this team's essential, I think, are at a 7 or an 8. They are good, but they're not great.
I'd say 7 because I still think at the back end of the draft, I think actually Maw, Lando, Latios, Heatran, Pharaoh, Keldeo, Gyarados, fine.
Yeah.
I'd rather you just get a bunch of low tiers with the points per hat and Linoon though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Hat's kind of redundant. That's where the ghost weakness gets out of hand because instead you're getting a fodder normal type and dark type like, combined and you're adding onto the ghost weakness. Which I know it's there for Trick Room for like in Magic Bounce because you don't have a spinner, but
Mhm.
I still think you could have
Honestly,
divvied it up.
Do you know what I think would improve the scene if they generally drop Lanoon Galar for Porygon.
Yeah,
And that's not stupid, but I actually legit think Porygon would be good here on this team.
Porygon would be better, yeah. It
Yeah.
feels like they forced themselves to draft a bunch of stuff.
Stuff, and it's working because they're all kind of strong on their own.
I do love I do like Terra Gyarados a lot, though.
I feel like that's
Yeah,
kind
Galar
of
is
forced.
good.
Yeah. Gyarados Terra is
7,
definitely
by the
forced.
way.
Breaking
Yeah,
power
I'm
on
really
this
excited.
team.
Very good. It's the
Very-
highlight of the team.
Very fucking good. While plus, even had
Everything on that team has a potential to break something in half.
Yep.
Everything.
this team.
Whether it be sub bleach seed or
Yeah, this
Even
might
Lanoon Galar?
yeah,
even
it's Terra.
the-
It's got something.
some matchups maybe.
Yeah, it's
I
not
think
like
he
a
gets
counter in
extreme
his mon.
speeds.
I guess quick attack.
Okay.
But I would
And sucker punch.
I would personally say this breaking power is maybe a 10. Honestly.
I
I'd say
agree with
9.
10. mostly because quick attack landing Galar, but I actually do legitimately think it's a 10.
I think the only reason it's not a 10 is because it's gonna really struggle against teams that have like 1 or 2 mons that outspeed 110.
Yeah,
And
that's
that its defensive powers is kind of like lackluster. You're like basically begging to use Trick Room some matchups because Latios can't outspeed it, or
Yep.
Keldeo can't slot Scarfin.
yeah. Next up, the supporting.
It's all right.
It's alright.
Yeah.
Magic Bounce Hat, into double Intim, Latios is
Triple Intim.
defensive, Heat Rain and Pharaoh are there. It's there, but it's like more like a solid 8 or 7 instead of really excelling.
I'd say triple intimidate because more before it towers before it megas is intimidate as well usually.
Technically, yeah.
There's very few situations where that actually matters.
Personally,
There's a lot. Like you can come in and instant something and have an advantage with Megaform.
yeah. Personally, I
But-
don't like the support of this team. A lot of support is gonna fall onto Latias. I feel like because Latias is the only I feel like amazing support Pokemon of all of these.
I mean, Hat's like kind
Hat's
of there
good.
for that. Hat's the reason Hat's there is to kind of get that fairy type that's actually able to do something.
Yeah,
But I think there's still fairies on the board. I don't know.
I feel like the supporting is 6 or 7.
I'd say a
Best.
7 is fine.
7 as well.
Okay, now to the problem solving.
Lando. 12.
Lando.
Latios, Lando are gonna solve a lot of problems, and Heatran's small amount of versatility, but
Yeah,
excels in it is also gonna really help. Gyarados as well.
yeah. This problem.
I think it's another 7, honestly. I think it's got options, but I don't think it excels.
I would have
I
said
got
8.
8. Just because Lando's that good and Latios is that versatile.
How much can you put on their shoulders is the question.
I'm using a Lando a lot.
Yeah, you can put a lot on Lando, honestly.
I don't know. Depends on the matchup.
Next up is Siri Kai or Cry Kai.
Somehow that's only the 4th most disturbing picture I've seen today.
Somehow, yeah.
Which one?
The Aselgor picture.
That's dope.
It's disturbing.
Why is it? Because I put or just kill him next to it?
Yes, honestly, that adds to it.
Okay, let's start with one thing though. This team is good. He also took one of the best Chiyu counters and just put it on his team in Mantine.
Smart plan, really.
He has a water absorb.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he has a water absorb Pokemon, but Mantine is still bundle fodder. Except for the Steel Terra, which makes it amazing against bundle.
Yeah, it's not bundle fodder.
Yeah.
It's Terran. Yeah, when I was making this team, he was like, "Oh, I really want to do." It was like round 3. He asked. I was like, "You should just pick up Megalade." And then he went to my DMs and we talked about it. I'm like, "You should just pick up Megalade." Because he's like, "I want to use Gliscor." But then Roaring Moon got sniped. Wait, what was it? I think it was one of the mons that got taken right before him. So he pivoted into
Yeah.
What was it? Oh, I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
Whatever. But his team's very solid.
Yeah.
By the book solid, honestly.
One thing to mention though, he only has 1 Ghost Resist, so kind of a problem in some matchups.
Yeah, that is a bit of one.
Chiyu being the only Ghost Resist isn't particularly great. Although
None of the
Chiyu
Terras
can
either.
take some special moves.
He's got enough natural bulk where if the ghost type isn't overly versatile or doesn't have a lot of if it doesn't have fire coverage, Fortress can come in and Terra Steel and do stuff, and
Even Nihilego.
Yeah,
Great
Nihi and
special
Gudra are
defensive.
bulky enough for Spit F, so it's
Yeah.
like Chiyu's not forced to come in on the ghost move, which is fine.
Yeah. Rock weakness is something to mention though. Only resist.
That's why he has double steel.
That's why he needs double steel because Fortress isn't a rock resist as a steel type. He has Gudra and he has Gallade for that though now.
Yeah, but it's Terra Fortress to steal, which is
Yeah.
why he did it.
Yep.
The Fortress is solely there for the removal to help it out because before it was really just maintain Glysaur.
Yeah.
And also hazards as well. It does help with his hazards.
Hazard setting is amazing for him. He has 2 amazing hazard setters in Fortress and Gliscor, and then even Nihilego can set hazards. So
Selgor is really good.
yeah, he has pretty good hazard setting. Removal is
And also he frees up Gliscor as well to do other stuff, which can come up
Removal is
later.
actually fine. I
it's
think
fine. Yeah,
2 solid defoggers. One of them just doesn't really want to run it as much.
yeah.
And then
The rapid
Fortress
spinner,
being
yeah.
rapid spin. It's Terra, so it's able to come a lot.
Terra Fortress is. I've used Terra Fortress in this gen. It is actually surprisingly good.
It actually, I like it a lot.
I actually use it to help beat an Iron Bundle, so.
So I would personally, this team's essentials are 8 or 9.
I go with 8.
Yeah, the lack of a ghost type is like the main thing, even if
Yep.
it's a Terra.
But a ghost type would give him another ghost weakness, which he doesn't want. Maybe a normal type slot would have been better here.
I mean, but if he has a ghost type, he can just slot the normal type into the Fortress.
True. Yeah. Okay, so next up is the breaking power. And
I think this team's breaking power is phenomenal.
Yeah, he has Chiyu, Mega
Look
Gallade.
at the top 5 by the speed chart, just break everything. Like Gliscor, Chiyu and Gallade are just base threatening. Nihi with a Meteor Beam can kind of tear through stuff. Isildur is a lot better than people give it credit for. I still think it's great for the speed tier. And it kind of removes exactly what Chiyu and Megalade want gone.
The one problem, I would say, this team has breaking-wise, the only good physical mon is Mega Gallade.
That is
Except
a
for
problem.
Yeah,
I think
Gliscor, but
Gliscor and then like Isildur can run like a final Gambit set. Is that
guess.
physical? I forget.
No,
Final
Final
Gambit.
Gambit doesn't
I think
matter.
it's special. Well, it doesn't matter, but yeah. I
Yeah,
forget
Final
if they...
Gambit's handy though.
One thing to
Forget
mention,
if they-
the thing why I didn't mention Gliscor is because sometimes Gliscor does need setup to
Ah, yeah.
be threatening.
EQ from a Gliscor hurts everything.
Yeah.
Future History can also run physical as well, and even run like sheltered body press. That is a thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
even Fortress can run I can now run Iron Defense body press, and it's not shite.
I would give this breaking a 8.
I'd say a 7. It does have a lack. I mean, never mind an 8, just because of how omnipotent the breakers are.
Yep.
8. I go with 8. There's some weaknesses to it, but some of them are actually monsters.
Next up, supporting. There's Sylveon, Mantine, Gliscor, even Nihi,
Gudra's a
Gudra.
great wall.
Supporting is great. The only thing I would probably mention is not that good in the supporting quality is his momentum. He does not have a lot of momentum.
He gets U-turn on Gliscor, Selgor. Gets baton pass on Sylveon.
And
It's
Volt
like, it's
switch on
iffy, but
Fortress. That's
he's got enough, I think, to make it work, especially since the Selgor is going to come in and kind of just outspeed stuff.
yeah. His supporting is an 8 again. I feel like just 8s all around up until now.
I was at the beginning, like I was going to say, this team was built and made to be like a solid 8 across the board.
Yeah. Last up is the problem solving. If you both agree with the 8 on support.
I do.
I do.
Okay. Problem solving. Gudra is a good problem solver.
He can break through stuff.
Sylveon can be a problem solver just because it can run specs, it can run defensive, it can run special defensive, it can do a lot.
Selgor kind of just comes in and does whatever the hell it wants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that can surprise people. Neo
Final
Lego can do
Gambit.
different stats.
Gliscor.
Chiyu even
And then you have to worry about
Moon.
Chiyu and Megalade SD at the same time, so it's like this is another solid 8 or 9.
Chiyu can even
Yeah.
run like a stall set against Roaring Moon. I've seen that happen as well.
So
Why not just run Pixelate Quick Attack on Sylveon and 2-shot the fucking Roaring Moon?
I mean, that's also an option too. But
Yeah,
I'll
it
say
actually
that for
2-shots,
5 extra
but-
match. Oh no, I know, I've run it before. It's fun as fuck.
It's fire. It's fire.
so we agree on an 8 again.
I go
Yeah.
8.
An 8 all over the board for Cry.
You're solid.
Last up is Krumel.
This is the team I'm prepping for this week.
This
You
is
are
the
crazy
Darkrai
good.
team.
They do not have a grounded poison.
Yep, no grounded poison for this team hurts a lot, actually.
Mew and Skarmory is the only thing that doesn't get poisoned upon
Mhm.
contact.
No water absorb Pokemon.
He has a Zoomeril and Belly Bolt though. It's not like the end of the world.
Yeah, but still,
Belly Bolt can wall Iron Bundle as long as it's not specs.
as long as it's not specs.
If
And
it's specs,
Azumarill
he just
can
fucking
run thick fat.
flops.
Azumarill can run thick fat.
Thick fat Snorlax is a good answer though.
Yeah, I don't think
He has
it's
3
actually
good bundle
Azumarill.
answers, yeah.
So, Terra Pokemon, Lucario, and Sinistcha are pretty good, I feel like.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
really
they're
good
solid.
ones.
One thing to mention though, his ground weakness is abysmal.
Hey,
Holy shit.
Skarmory's trying his best.
Yeah, Skarmory's gonna try its best. Sinistcha is gonna have to switch into some ground moves as well sometimes if Skarmory isn't healthy anymore. No particularly important types are missing except for a grounded poison maybe, because he does need, with that type of team, grounded poison would be very good.
Yeah.
Looking at the speed tiers are fine. I don't see a problem
Yeah,
with
it's
them.
pretty good.
They're basic 125, 115, 100, or like
Yeah,
120.
they are all
110.
over the board. He can run Trick Room, he can run just normal mons. He is fine with speed tiers.
Does he have any Trick Room setters other than Mew?
Nope,
I don't
it's
think
just
so.
Mew.
So it's gonna like have to go Mew into Mega Canterupts pretty fast.
Yep.
Like Mew room service setup.
Yeah,
What the
so
fuck is that Snorlax picture?
it's a Morgus, but Snorlax.
Just let him do his thing, okay?
Yeah. So I feel like
So bad.
this team's basics are pretty good. Of course, they could be better. They aren't perfect, but they're pretty good, honestly.
I think they're good.
Back into the draft just isn't my thing. That's all. That's
Yeah.
the only way I'm looking at it.
But,
never
but like
done that.
objectively, the mons are good.
They're fine.
Yeah.
I would say the hazard removal's a bit with just Skarmory and Mew.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And its setting is just Camerupt, Skarm, Mew. I
And
don't
Mew.
think Zygarde gets it.
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing. He
Nope.
has no grounded poison, and his hazard removal is not good. That's like the biggest problem I see for this team. So I would give this a 6 or a 7. I feel like a 7 is better.
Say 7.
I think it's 7. There's another thing I'm going to mention on in a minute as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
What
I'll
is
come
it?
up in support roles.
Support
They
roles.
have two mons that can pivot.
Yeah, that's something we have to mention later on, yeah. Next up, though, is the breaking power. The breaking power is...
Zoomeril.
Actually pretty lackluster. It's like
Ye-
very heavy on the Terramons.
He does not have a lot of immediate threatening Pokemon, especially on the physical side.
Yeah, it's like up to the Zygarde Choice Band or like Life Orb Darkrai, which are fine, but they don't like... They'll do the job, it's just not phenomenal.
Yeah, there's no Pokemon that come in and you are immediately threatened by it that are not called a Zoomeril, I feel like.
Yeah, Sumo is basically his main threat.
Yep.
Mega Camerupt as well, but usually, unless you're in Trick Room, you're faster.
Yep. But you have to have the right Pokemon in against Camerupt, or it takes something out. That's a problem. I feel like the breaking power of the team is a big problem, though. Because especially it's very good, but physically it's lacking, definitely.
I mean, that's why I picked up the Zygarde to kind of help Lucario and
Yeah.
the Azumarill.
I was.
Snorlax is there.
This is
It's
a 6 or a 7 again.
a 6.
I go 6.
Next up is the supporting.
So the pivoting's bad. U-turn and Fault Switch being the only two pivots isn't great.
The
Yeah.
only Pokemon that have recovery are Skarm and Mew.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure
Sinistcha too, but
The supporting will run a lot.
Oh.
And I mean a lot through Mew.
Oh, I hate when that's a thing because Mew is really best when you can do so much. You
Not
get
when it
some
fills a
some
role.
taunt mons. He's got some taunt mons.
Yeah, and Skarmory will be a good support mon. Sinistcha in some matchups as well, but I feel like Mew is gonna have to carry a lot of those. Of that, that's the problem.
there's gonna be a lot of leftovers.
Yep. So I feel
Yeah.
like this is again the supporting isn't as good as it could be. Of course, there's Mew, which is one of the best, if not the best, supporting mon ever.
Yeah, but it can't really do its job, so I'd take a point off for it.
Yeah, so I
It's
would
too restricted.
give it
probably
a
six.
6 again.
Yeah.
5.
Next up is problem solving, and I think this is
Mew's really good.
Mew is
Lucario,
really good as a problem solver, but the rest are not.
It's like it's just Lucario after that.
No, don't underestimate Darkrai as a problem solver. It can run physical very good, actually.
I
because of
wouldn't
certain
underestimate
stances.
Sinistcha as
It's
well.
not very
That's
good. You
gonna be
need the
good.
SD. It's the SD, and then it's an average sweeper. It's,
It can if you have ever
you have to not prepare, and your team has to be extremely weak to a Darkrai physical for it to work. Like it has to be both worlds. And I don't think that's gonna happen in Claude.
yeah, I guess
If I
yeah.
lose the physical dark right now, I'm gonna feel so embarrassed.
So yeah, the problem solving is very reliant on Mew and Lucario again because a lot of Pokemon are gonna run very similar sets. Snorlax and Azumarill have some different sets than they have to run. Like
Yeah, it's just Belly Drum doesn't always sweep with
Yep.
Aqua Jet and Draft. That's the problem. Otherwise, that would be a huge.
like
bonus.
Azumarill can even into specific matchups run like what's it called, the grass absorbing ability vegetarian or what it is.
Sap Sipper.
Sap Sipper, yeah.
Honestly, Thick Fat maybe for bundle, but honestly, you have better bundle answers anyway.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you're running Sip Sap or Sumeral, something's gone wrong.
Yep. But there is definitely in some monsters like
It's very
other
versatile.
puzzles stuff, yeah. So this is
I would give it like a 6.
yeah 6 again.
I'd go with 7 on this one. Like Mew, Darkrai, Lucario.
You won't be able to solve a lot of these problems, so it's going to rely on Azumarill and Lucario.
Oh, 100%. But just in case, like that, I think Mew can still solve some, but it's not as badly hamstrung as it is on the other in the Weeper Division one. But it's still quite hamstrung, especially
So
with the lack of removal.
now that we're done, we can rank the teams into the tier list.
What's the highest score? We have
Zep
3 tied
with
at 32.
35.
Okay. and
Zep
then
has
after
the
that
highest
is-
score out of any PR we have done.
Yeah, and then we have Ashente, Cry, and Order tied at 32.
Which do we think is the best out of them, though?
Probably Cry.
Cry.
And then probably
So we put Zep first, and then Cry.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think Seb's got the best draft.
Then Shente.
I think we put Zeb in his own tier. There's like a 3-point difference. I think that's fine. And then we put
Okay,
all
cool.
3 of the 29s in contenders and go from there.
There's
And Mawwiles is the next team.
32. The Mawwiles.
Yeah, first.
There we go.
I think they can go after
Mhm.
Order's team.
Then who do we have? Do we have any 30s anymore? Taco
We
at
have 20.
31.
We have a. Oh, we do. And
Yeah,
then
Taco at
20
31.
And then we have 29 P McGee and then Spike 28, and I think that clears that.
P.
What was I? I thought mine was like 30.
I don't see yours.
Roy.
I didn't scroll up far enough.
Roy's 31 as well, yeah.
Yeah, so Roy can go before
Over P. McGee.
And then 29 Terra is also there.
Mm-hmm.
Terra and LS. So why don't we do 29 one tier down?
One tier down? Yeah, that's fine.
P McGee was 29 as well. I'd say P McGee's at the top of that, and then maybe Terra into. Yeah, actually, the order you have it's fine actually.
Mhm.
And then Jack is also 29. Holy shit!
Jack.
My link divided this, and my brain's not
Mhm.
figuring it out. Yeah, Jack.
Which team was Jack again?
The Rykos.
Yeah,
Jack
the
O'Lantern.
one with
There we
the
go.
giraffe mon.
So that can be that tier, and
Mhm.
then after that we have. So we're at 29.
We have
But-
Ordinary at 25.
Did we put LS up there?
Luster. LS, I don't. Yes,
we
LS
did.
is up
It's
there,
him,
yeah.
it's him.
So
And then
Luster's 26.
29. I think he's the next, but let me scan. Did we do Spike at 28?
No, which team is Spike?
The luxury one.
Yeah, so it's. Yeah, we'll keep him in that. And
Yep.
then.
Then there's Luster at 26. Ordinary at 25.
Crewmill at 25. And then BGC at 25.
And
And
then
then Soham is the sole 22 pointer.
Yep.
That's.
basically
They're all pretty even.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zeb's the only real push.
Yep. So
That is our PRs.
this has been the PRs for Clodsire. We will to do week battles from now on, not PRs, because we don't want to do PRs every week.
We're not doing PRs every week. I'd kill my.
Oh, you're ridiculous. No, you're not doing that. No.
I harm myself.
Yep. So
next week we will have your week 1 matches and your week 2 predictions.
exactly. So if you two don't have anything else to say, we have been the Clodcast.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I try to think of
Bye,
something
bitches.
snarky.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.